Imagine a world you save money on shopping like you never have before. Well, Honey is here for you. They search the internet for the best prices. Stop wasting your time. Honey helps you find some of the best coupon codes on 30,000 plus sites. What are you waiting for? Look at yourself. You're not saving money anyway right now. It's 3 easy steps, added in seconds. Number one, joinhoney.com/best honey ad to download Honey on your computer or a laptop. It's 100% free. Who doesn't like free? Come on. Number two, shop like normal. They help you find the best deals, promo codes, and savings. Number three, save instantly. One click, and they'll apply the biggest savings they can find to your cart. So once again, go to joinhoney.com/best honey ad to download it on your computer or laptop. I'm doing this super cool ad for a contest with Honey. So as you can see and hear, this money that you're going to be saving, you'll be excited just like I am. So check out Honey, visit the website. Let's go. Well, there we go. Hey, they said make it catchy.
Yeah.
So I made it as
listen,
possible.
That's awesome, man.
I mean, you got a commercial. I don't have a commercial in my podcast, so I really can't say anything.
Yeah. Well, welcome everyone to Late Night with BS3 special episode.
Courtney.
Shout out to Courtney.
Hey, what's up, man?
What up, man? What's up? How you guys doing?
Good.
I think it's the first time I'm meeting you, so good meeting you, Courtney.
Yeah, you too, Jordan, man. Nice to meet you. I know we talked off air and stuff like that, but it's good to meet you and everything, and glad that we all can connect.
Yeah.
Glad we all get to tell a story tonight.
Yes. Yes.
Some good and some bad.
Right.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. Late Night with BS3, fantasy football midweek show. So we've been doing these on Saturday. I won't be on one this Saturday, so I figured, hey, let's do a midweek. It's late night. We got the crew here. We got Nithin Ramachandra. Did I say that right?
Ramachandra.
Also, we got Jordan in the building.
Hey.
Thanks for coming on. And we got Courtney in the building as well. So we're going to talk about our fantasy football teams, how we did week 7. Also, we talk about some waiver wire picks for week 8. If you guys got any questions, you can put those in there. We are experts, but not experts. So we will help you out. Hopefully we can help you win some money. We've been playing fantasy football. I'm sure most of us have been playing for a while, so we got some time in our back pocket. So let's start off. Courtney, I'll go to you. Looks like you're the one that won in our DraftKings league. So I know you got to be feeling pretty good. But how was your week in fantasy?
That was a good week. Last week was a good week, man. I can't even front on that. It was a really good week. The last couple of weeks, actually, 'cause I finished second in our other league that we did on DraftKings as well. So this year I'm only playing DraftKings because I was kind of skeptical playing fantasy football this year because of with COVID and the unknown of things, with lineups being changed and some players not playing, and we knew it was inevitable that it was gonna be some COVID cases because it happened in baseball. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sit out the regular fantasy football, but I'm still playing DraftKings. So I was like, okay, I can just concentrate on different lineups each week. But last week was a really good week in our DraftKings league. I ended up with a pretty good lineup. I had Aaron Rodgers, I had Kamara, Terry McLaurin. He did really well. The only one that didn't do well is Kelsey in the tight end. And I usually don't pay up for tight end, but I had enough cap space for the tight end position. So I was like, well, you know what, Kelsey, why not? He's going against Denver. He should dominate, and then he didn't. He only had 6 points, and Kansas City blew him out, and he had 6 points. So, but yeah, really good week. So I'm definitely, like I said, definitely proud of that week and ready to roll for this weekend coming up.
Yeah, and you did great. So I applaud you. But I also hate you at the same time because you stole my money. And when we talk about I'm not talking about monopoly money. When we start talking about real money, that's when I start getting nervous. But the good thing is, out the gate, I did pretty good with DraftKings, so I got a little bit in the bank, so I can feel happy. I got some money to spend. When it start getting down to the double zeros, the triple zeros, though, I'm gonna have to back out. I'm gonna have to fade the black when that's all right.
High stakes. That's high stakes there, man.
Yeah. But Jordan, talk about your fantasy football week this week.
So the only particular matchup that I won was my fantasy football by Wolf Cola matchup. And really, that was only because I think the guy that I was playing with either forgot to set his lineup or doesn't care anymore, because I literally blew this guy out about 120-50. It was that bad. The other leagues, I don't want to talk about so much. Lost that one. Lost my money league, and DraftKings, you know how that particular result went. Not to mention, as Courtney so eloquently pointed out, my Broncos got blown out by Kansas City. So when we talk about Week 7 for me, there was probably only one good thing, and then the rest of everything just turned completely sideways for me.
I hear you. All right, Nathan, talk about your fantasy football week.
Yeah, so I do this NFL fantasy league with my friends, and unfortunately I lost, so I'm 3-4 now. The mistake was I forgot to put one of my receivers in, so that was one mistake. But I had Deshaun Watson starting, Mark Ingram, Robinson from the Jaguars, a running back, Hopkins, Mike Evans, and then Travis Kelce, like Courtney said, struggled. So, and then I also had Calvin Ridley on here, Robbie Gould, and the Eagles defense. So I might have to switch it up a little bit here to start winning games. I'm in last place right now, so 3-4 is not looking so good. And I made a trade last week with my friend. I got Mike Evans, Higbee for Robbie Anderson and Juju Smith-Schuster. So I needed the upside receiver, Mike Evans. So hopefully he can have a good game next week. And I don't know if I should. Maybe I might keep the Eagles defense, but against our Cowboys. But let's see what happens.
Hint, keep him this week because if Ben DiNucci or if Andy Dalton's starting, it's going to be a long day. And I'll say this: we got Courtney,
Vinny Bucci. What's it?
That's something or other.
Come on, Courtney.
Yeah, and that's whoever's playing running back for you guys, Courtney. Let me know who that is.
Boston Scott.
Boston Scott.
Wow. Yeah, Boston Scott will be starting.
Yeah.
I'm probably about to scoop him up then. Everybody else that's watching, scoop up Boston Scott.
Spoiler alert! Start Carson Wentz.
Hey, Courtney, we're gonna beat you guys this Sunday. So,
if we lose with Dallas and their fourth string quarterback, I'm done with the season. I mean, that says the Eagles they can't win this division. It's pitiful, man. They got the best talent right as of right now. They have the best talent, with all the injuries and stuff. But you never know. You just don't
listen, Nathan, Ben. Courtney, what's great about your division is it's a pathetic division, okay? Somebody could be 5-11 and win that dang division for all I care.
That's what we said, 5-11-1 or 4, was it 4-12 or 11-1?
Yeah. That's true. Anything could happen, at this point. All right, so let me talk about mine. I won in my Yahoo League. I'm 2-5, so I'm in 9th place out of 12. But hey, at least I'm going in the right direction. Finally, some of these guys came through for me. The DraftKings league I lost. That was a horrible week for DraftKings for me. A lot of guys didn't come through. For some reason, I thought the tight end. Let me go back to who that. I had tight end from Darren Wells, but Darren Fells.
Darren Fells.
He's had a touchdown. It seemed like every week over the past couple of weeks. So I thought, hey, maybe this is working in my favor. Obviously, that didn't work out. He had 0 points. Kelce didn't really come through because Kelce didn't have to, just because the Chiefs, they just did what they did on defense and on special teams. So that didn't come through. And then OBJ going down. That was major for me. I started OBJ. That didn't work out well at all, and he's done for the year. So now teams and people are going to have to scramble around again to try to figure out who they're going to get. So I ended up losing that league, and I started Brady. I think I started Brady. No, I started Mahomes. Mahomes didn't do that much either. He only had 12 points in the ESPN league. Mike Davis is trending backwards because CMC is about to come in this week. So, that's interesting to see how that goes. And Jonnu Smith, this dude is such a –
that was a disappointment.
Good Lord, man. This guy, he's such a wild card. You don't know what he's going to do from week to week. One week he may have 2 touchdowns, the next week he may have 0. So it's like, how do you truly play this guy or not play this guy? So those are a couple things from my leagues. I'm in the DraftKings again this week. Let's see how this goes. Mm-hmm. I think I've figured out, pick the players that are playing the worst defenses. So basically, my whole roster is filled with Eagles players. So,
you're an Eagles fan. You're an Eagles fan this weekend.
I'm a one-time Eagles fan.
That's blasphemy.
Right, exactly.
I don't care if I'm winning, if I have to get a win for my fantasy league championship game. If I know for example, the Raiders are playing the Cowboys, I would never root for the Raiders to win.
Right.
We got a comment here from Taryn Rodriguez saying, "Good evening, Ben, Jordan, Courtney, and Nathan. Have an amazing show," he said.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Taryn.
Yeah, definitely always.
Taryn is always showing support. Also, we got Deacon Dale. He is not a deacon, by the way, but that's his nickname.
Christian McCaffrey coming back this week, confirmed, right?
He is. He is coming back.
So I have McCaffrey on my team. So I maybe I'm gonna flip him for Robinson this week too. So I'm gonna put McCaffrey in this week.
Yeah. Now the interesting thing about that is Mike Davis is still projected to get playing time. According to Matt Rule, he's saying that he's still going to get run despite CMC playing. So now I don't know necessarily who to start. You look at the ESPN league, and Davis is supposed to get 13.6 points. So that could be beneficial, but I'm a little bit on the fence. So get you guys' thoughts on this too, because CMC, if he's fully healthy, he's getting all the carries. So there's no reason why he should be splitting time.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Whether it's CMC starting or whether Mike Davis is starting, I'm giving one of those running backs another chance because they're playing the Atlanta Falcons. And if I have learned anything, especially last week, it doesn't matter how Matt Ryan does. Somehow that defense is going to fall apart when they need it the most.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I agree.
They're going to figure out some type of way to fall apart.
Yeah.
Yes, if CMC starts, or if he plays, He's the starter.
Yeah.
But now they have the luxury of having another good running back in Mike Davis, who got a lot of experience over these last, 4 or 5 weeks, and was productive most of the weeks except for last week. He just didn't play well, But if CMC's there, he was the number 1 overall pick the last couple of years. Him and Saquon, the last 2 years. Now you plug him in. You just put him in, and you just let your roster let them have that number 1 spot. Let it ride to the entire playoffs till you get to the playoffs.
Now here's my question: is CMC and Mike Davis going to split shifts at least this game, because you don't want to test CMC's injury to a point where if he re-aggravates that injury, that might give him a bigger setback, for days or weeks to come. And remember, this guy just signed an extension with the Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
So if I'm the Carolina Panthers, I'm not sure if I want my investment to go to waste, considering the fact that Carolina might not even get into the playoffs this year. They're 3-4, 7 weeks into the season. Not saying that they're a bad team. It's just that their playoff chances are close to unlikely at this point.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you need to bring them back slowly. This is not the time to rush a guy back when you've got a guy that has been proving himself. So, I mean, that's going to be interesting to see how that works out. It looks like, though, Matt Rule said they're going to split time. Yeah. So if I was Matt Rule, I would give, Davis the majority of the carries, at least for one more week, until, CMC is fully back and healthy.
This is an opportunity for Mike Davis to look for that contract. He's going to get his money's worth.
Sure.
So he's going to get paid if he continues to have a productive year. And even with Christian McCaffrey coming back, he can still have a productive year. And I feel like this obviously winning games is important. But if he wants that contract, then I think he'll get his production too. So
Yeah. All right, we're looking at waiver wires for this upcoming week 8. Anybody that happens to be in a quarterback conundrum or situation, let's look at waiver wire QBs. The one that I'm going to mention is Derek Carr of the Raiders. He's only rostered in 29% of leagues. So Derek Carr, who's a Raider, obviously he's got weapons. He's been getting the ball to Darren Waller, the tight end, Henry Ruggs. So, I mean, they have guys. It's just a matter of week by week. Is Derek Carr going to really be, truly be a guy? And then if you got injuries, that's a guy that you could pick up. Who wants to add on QBs, for this upcoming week?
So for me in my league, the quarterbacks we should be looking for in my league is Carson Wentz available, Justin Herbert's available, Derek Carr actually is available, Ryan Tannehill, Teddy Bridgewater, Joe Burrow's available even here in my league.
Wow.
Baker Mayfield, Tom Brady's available, Tua. Oh, speaking of Tua, who is
Tom Brady's available?
Yeah, Tom Brady's available in this league. But speaking of Tua, who's excited for Tua's debut this weekend?
Oh, I hope he does very well. And, they're playing against the Los Angeles Rams that did play a very good game against the Chicago Bears. But I do expect that Tua, especially being at home in Miami, it's definitely going to give him that much-needed confidence. He'll have the fan support. And in my opinion, even though the Rams got a good win against Chicago, I think they're still a fraudulent team, and they do have a chance, Miami does, to sneak past the Rams, get a win, and get Tua on the right path to a great career with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, my biggest thing with Tua is Aaron Donald, man. Good luck, because that's going to be probably the hardest thing. And this is the thing I said about Tua before the draft, is that he has injuries and he's been injury prone throughout college. Now, coming into the pros, everybody's fast. This isn't like you're not going to be playing walk-ons from Western Valley of Mississippi State. You're not going to be playing any of those guys. You'll be playing quick, physical guys, every single week. So I'm worried. I'm honestly worried for Tua, because that line's not really that great either. So this is going to be a big statement game for him. Hopefully everything goes well. Fitzmagic is there, but we'll see how it works out. But man, you got a lot of quarterbacks available.
Yeah, I mean,
how many teams is it in that league?
There's like eight of us, and
okay.
I have Deshaun Watson and Drew Brees. So I don't know. I'm thinking of probably picking up either Joe Burrow or Tom Brady, but I might stick with Deshaun Watson and Drew Brees for another week and see.
Yeah, Big Brady, definitely. Brady's been on fire lately.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. Joe Burrow too. I mean, even with a bad team that he's on, he's putting up huge numbers. I mean, he put up huge numbers last week too. What do you have? 400 yards?
400 yards.
400 yards. Yeah, so you got a lot of good options there, man. Like you can go a lot of good ways, and you got Deshaun Watson, Andrew Brees. Yeah, 18 leagues. There's so many players that are available with 18 leagues. Usually it's a 12-team. I played in a 16-team league. That's even harder because you can't get anybody. Nobody to get. But 18 league, you can really stack your squad with a lot of great players, and you can just keep players. You can keep subbing players in and benching players, and then picking up real good players. But yeah, I think Joe Burrow, if he's there, Tom Brady's there on the waiver wire, pick them up this week.
Well, if you were in that position, who would you drop, though? Deshaun Watson or Drew Brees for Tom Brady or Joe Burrow?
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Probably Drew Brees, and it's slightly only because Deshaun Watson's got the rushing. He can run. He's got that option. So, but Drew Brees, he's got Alvin Kamara. Michael Thomas should be back soon, very soon. So he's got the weapons too. So that's a real tough one. I would keep him. But if I had to pick, I probably would pick Deshaun Watson.
Right.
the upside with the rushing. So I would definitely keep Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jelani, JB, Buddy, in the show.
Yo, what's up, Jelani? Fellow X Squad affiliate.
Yeah, he just ended his show, so he's stopping through. Let us know, you guys, you got any questions for us?
Yeah.
We'll definitely answer those. Anybody else want to add on to QBs on the waiver wire?
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater is available. Yeah. And remember, guys, they're playing against the Atlanta Falcons defense. So listen, it's a very comparative in terms of who you would take between Carson Wentz starting versus Teddy Bridgewater starting. If you're looking, as you eloquated, Ben, about the defensive strength or lack thereof. So if you have Teddy Bridgewater available in your waiver wire, I would pick him up this week.
Okay, I like that, and Teddy's been playing well too. So
yeah.
I mean that's a positive note that I think any team he's going to probably put up numbers. I mean, having Robbie Anderson as your wide receiver, man, it's been money for him. So I definitely agree with that.
And if CMC is back, there's your security blanket right there. That's the guy that's always projected to get 100 yards receiving, 100 yards rushing in a game. Period. He's getting the workload, and like we said earlier, he could be eased in a little bit slower, which I would do that too. But you still got Mike Davis who can catch out of the backfield as well. So I think it's Teddy Bridgewater. That's a good call. I really like him this week too.
Yeah, that's a good pick. All right, let's go to running backs. Running backs, this is one of these positions where from the jump, man, losing Saquon Barkley, Zeke's not playing well. I mean, like, you got to really make a decision. If you got Zeke on your team, like, do you start him? If it's daily, DraftKings type leagues, you got to leave Zeke on the bench because this is nobody's getting points from this Cowboys offense. But so there's a couple of players that I looked up and noticed. Damian Harris from New England. The problem is New England running backs are iffy, and now you have a guy in Cam Newton that's getting more yards than a running back. So I don't know how can't really factor that in too well. Got Sony Michel. He's on IR, so that could be a positive note. You got to pick this guy I'm about to say just because of his name. I believe it's Jermichael Hasty. Like, this dude's name alone makes me want to pick him up. I'm not, though, because the 49ers is running back by committee. So,
I'm not sure, and I'm speaking more so for fantasy too. I'm not sure if he's available on your waiver wire, but and I know he's not technically the starter, but they are going against the Jets and the Bills. They put up an anomaly, scoring only 18 points against that pathetic team. But Kansas City's coming to town. I would check to see if Le'Veon Bell is available if you need a emergency flex option.
That's a great point.
I agree. I was just getting ready to say Le'Veon Bell. He got 7 carries last week, and he was a little productive, So I'd say you get him, and he's playing, he's playing against his former team. Andy Reid loves those running back by committees. The Eagles 15 years, so I know about that. His running back by committee, he doesn't always stick with one running back. So Le'Veon Bell, I would look at him as a good flex option. I really like that pick too.
Yeah, and Jelani says Teddy already beat the Falcons earlier this year, 313 yards, 2 touchdowns. There you go. There you go. You just confirmed that for us. Thank you for that. So any other running backs?
So real quick for me in my league, there's one running back everybody should be taking if he's available. Chase Edmonds from Arizona. This guy can play. I feel like Arizona is obviously playing. They're playing at a high level. They beat Seattle last week. This team is a dangerous team in the NFC, and they can make a run here. And I feel like Chase Edmonds, with the type of speed he has, obviously a great running back. And Kyle Murray has so many weapons to choose from. So look out for Chase Edmonds to continue his productive year this week coming up.
Great point. And Kenyon Drake is out. So that's perfect. Chase Edmonds was beasting. All right, we got a question here. Rajveer Ashot, thank you for coming through. He says, "Hey guys, need some advice really quick." Okay, people are trying to get CMC right now, but I'm not really considering unless I'm absolutely blown away. That's an awesome point. You almost need to give it another week. That was my comment a little bit earlier. Mike Davis is there, but Mike Davis is going to be kind of a toss up, and you almost got to play that closer to Friday. But what do you guys want to add on to that question?
I think it's definitely a game time decision, especially if we're talking about, the load, the split shifts. I definitely could see that at least for this first game against Atlanta. Again, I don't necessarily think the Panthers want to test CMC's recently injured leg to a point that he could re-aggravate that leg injury. So for me, I'm staying away from CMC for now. I'm going to wait until next week, let him see how he does against the Falcons. There are plenty of other options out there, hopefully, for your fantasy football team. So I'm going to play cautious and step back.
Okay. All right. Anybody else want to add on to that?
Yeah, I was going to say, like we said, if you're going to get CMC, it's going to probably be a game time decision. If he does play, you play him. You got to play all your studs. That's what we always say. You play your studs. If you got any other option, Giovanni Bernard from Cincinnati. I mean, I had him on my team last week, and he was productive. So if he's still available in your waiver wire, pick him up. You also got Williams from Green Bay, Jamal Williams. If he's still available, he ran the ball 19 times, 77 yards, and he caught four passes. So, but check him out too. If Aaron Jones is still hurt, you can plug him in too. So those are a couple of options on the waiver wire.
Even a guy like Leonard Fournette from Tampa. This guy, he had a great game last week.
Yeah, could be.
Or you can get Courtney's Boston Scott because of
Boston Scott. Yeah.
Boston Scott, people. So now let me ask you this, Courtney. Miles Sanders is not playing at all.
He's still out. He's out for a couple more weeks. Yeah,
Boston Scott. Start him.
Boston Scott.
If you haven't already. We got another question. So one guy has Zeke, Dalvin, Kelsey, Amari, and Herbert. That's Zeke. I'm worried about. I'm
iffy on Zeke. I'm iffy on Zeke because it's not him. It's the fact that he has no quarterback to back him up.
Yeah.
Well, and our offensive line is not the same either. So that's another issue.
That's a big issue. Yeah, that's what I was telling Ben. We were talking before, and I said that the line is not what it used to be anymore, and they're getting pushed around, and and everything. So that's it's Dallas. They're falling apart in a lot of different positions. So
that line is so patched together. I mean, you have guys that was working at Safeway, Walgreens, wherever last week. all the memes have been hilarious too, because I know everybody that's been on the internet. If you got a Dallas Cowboys jersey, show up at 10 for practice.
Let's go.
So Dallas. I got the warm up on. I don't know if that counts.
You know how to wear it. You know how to wear it.
No, Cordy. Let's go Dallas.
I couldn't wear my Broncos stuff today. I'll tell you what though. I am sitting on a nice Broncos chair right here, so at least I got.
We have a question from Taryn Rodriguez.
Okay, I have a couple of quarterback crossroads. First one: do I start Baker or Matt Ryan?
All right,
that is a good question.
Honestly. Here's what's so interesting. Now, listen, I get it. They were playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. However, it's so interesting that all of a sudden, and listen, Odell Beckham Jr. is he's probably one of the top 2-3 wide receivers in the league. Unfortunate that he got that season-ending surgery, and I definitely hope that he gets fully recovered very quickly, and he definitely finds a home, because I'm telling you, it is not Cleveland. Right. What's so funny about what happened after Odell left, Baker Mayfield threw for 5 touchdowns when I didn't even consider he'd throw for 2 or 3. So he definitely proved a lot of people wrong in this particular game, had a great game against Cincinnati. And when I think about the Las Vegas Raiders, they just gave up 45 points to Tom Brady. And so, in my opinion, And listen, the Carolina Panthers defense isn't that bad in my opinion. It really isn't. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Baker Mayfield on this one.
Okay.
So, for me, yeah, I agree with Jordan here. Baker Mayfield, he's playing on a high level, and it's proving. I'm seeing it myself that he plays better without Odell. So I think even though Odell's out for the season now, so there's nothing. But Baker Mayfield, he is. I think there's a certain. I don't know why he plays better without Odell, but he's playing with a fiery passion, and I would start Baker Mayfield over Matt Ryan this week too.
Okay. I'm gonna say Baker also, and I think there's been a discussion this week saying, well, they're better without Odell. I don't 100% believe that. I just believe Baker's is gonna try to force it to his playmaker. Without his playmaker there, he's forced to spread the ball around. But my thing is, do that whenever. Like Odell doesn't pass the ball. Odell's not the quarterback. You are. So, but I think in this game, especially playing the Raiders, and they're on a run right now. I think Stefanski has been, huge for that offense and for them as a whole. So I would go Baker Mayfield over Matty Luke Warren. That's what I call him.
I gotta go the opposite. I think you take Matt Ryan with this one. I do. With the weapons Matt Ryan does have at his exposure. I mean, yes, he's been inconsistent, but Baker Mayfield, can we even trust him? Can we trust him to have 2-3 good weeks in a row? That's the thing. Now with Odell out, he doesn't have to force, and he can spread the ball around, that's probably his better. His better game with that. But I like Matt Ryan. I mean, Manhattan had a huge game last week too, and against Carolina, which could be a shootout. It could be a shootout, and that's what we want. We want as many points you can get with Ridley, with Julio Jones, Todd Gurley. I mean, he's got weapons too, but they're both inconsistent. But I think for this week, I'm higher on Matt Ryan than Baker Mayfield. I just don't trust Baker Mayfield every single week.
It's hard. It's hard to trust him. I mean, you're right about that. I can hear you.
The thing is, though, and this is why I'm choosing Baker Mayfield over Matt Ryan. Baker Mayfield is at least playing home in Cleveland. Matt Ryan has to go on the road to Carolina, and historically, the offenses don't do well in Carolina, in my opinion.
Good point. Good point. And it's a quick turnaround. I mean, some guys perform better on quick turnarounds than others, and Matt Ryan is getting older now. So
this is a Thursday night game, by the way.
And also, this could be Matt Ryan's possible last game in Atlanta too, with the trade deadline looming.
Ooh.
I've been hearing reports that Atlanta is looking to trade Julio Jones and Matt Ryan.
Come on, not Julio. Don't do that.
It's just a rumor. I'm just hearing. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting. Trevor Lawrence is looming around the NFL. When the draft coming up real soon, so it's possible that they could want, Trevor Lawrence, and even the owner. The owner's already came out and said that he's not confident in Matt Ryan, and when the owner says that, then that's almost like definite that you're on the trading block.
Take it for Trevor.
Well, Atlanta. It sounds like Atlanta has big dreams, but I'll tell you what: the awful team in New York, the New York Jets, has even bigger dreams.
True. Oh, that's fire sale. I heard something today that they're looking to trade Quinnen Williams. Somebody said it wasn't true, but they've already traded away the majority of their stars. So, like at this point, it's a wrap. You might as well trade Sam Darnold at the same time. That's how it is. But one of the comments from Roger Veer, he said, "Okay, thanks guys. I think I'll sit on him for now." I think talking about CMC, but I was looking to get someone since I also have Aaron Jones out, and we did kind of talk about that. So LaMichael P. Ryan is another guy. Now it's the Jets. I get it. But he's going to be getting all the carries. That Frank Gore is not going to be getting a lot of them, so you can look at that. And I think that's Boston Scott. Boston Scott is clearly a guy you need to pick up. Like I don't care what you got to do, you need to get that guy for sure.
Plug him in, definitely.
Let's see. Interesting. Great info, gents. Baker still has Jarvis Landry, Harris Bryant, David Njoku, yes, Kareem Hunt. I mean, it is stacked. Matt Ryan has playmakers, Julio, Calvin Ridley, Hayden Hurst. I'll probably go with Baker, is what he said. And the thing is, like, how many touchdowns is Matt? We're talking about fantasy. We're not talking about like real life stats. So how many touchdowns is Matt really going to get you? They don't get touchdowns to Julio. I think Julio got his first touchdown like last week or the week before.
Yeah.
So you got to factor that in too. That's another part. Let's see. Second quarterback crossroad. Who should I start?
Oh wow.
Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Ryan Tannehill. I'm leaning towards Herbert. Lamar has a tough matchup against the Steelers, and the Titans love to run the ball.
All right.
You answered your own question. I agree. Lamar's going to have a tough day with that Steelers defense. They're always stout, and the problem is, he may be able to get out and run, but the corners are going to be hot on his wide receiver. So,
I'm actually going to go, and trust me, this is not because of my Denver bias. I'm actually going to go Tannehill because of the Bengals defense. I mean, listen, if Baker Mayfield, who we were just knocking on just a couple of seconds ago, could throw 5 touchdowns against this team, what's different to say that Tannehill couldn't do the same thing? And I will say this for everybody who's going to mock on my Broncos for getting blown up by Kansas City. That was mainly because we turned the ball over 4 times and gave Kansas City the best possible field position ever. When we are on point, we can actually stop some teams. I mean, we just talked about Tannehill, only surrendered 16 points to them. Tampa Bay, we probably got their lowest scoring game too against us. I mean, we are a good defense, and we can certainly make Justin Herbert feel the pressure a little bit. So that's why I'm going to go Tannehill this week.
Okay. You surprised me. You surprised me with that one, because the reason why I say that is because this is all determined on Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry determines everything that happens in this game. Now, if they go down, that's another story, because then, yes, Tannehill's going to have to throw the ball. But it would be difficult for me to lean on Tannehill because this is Derrick Henry and the Titans. So that's my thought.
Yeah, it could be a Derrick Henry type of game for this week. They could just run the football and just keep running. But then it could be a shootout. Like, it could be another one of those shootouts. You got Joe Burrow on one side and you got Tannehill on the other. So if it gets into a shootout, that means, like, that's all the points. You go with Tannehill because, Joe Burrow's going to throw the football. I mean, they set that offense for him. But if it's a slow down game, I think this might be a Derrick Henry type of game. So if I had to pick, I'd probably go Justin Herbert on this one.
Yeah, for me, I agree with Courtney. Justin Herbert, he's playing on a high level, and I like what he reminds me of. he reminds me of Trevor Lawrence a little bit, actually. The way he passes the ball and the way he composes himself in the pocket. He is a perfect. What a great draft pick for the Chargers. They found their future quarterback. And he's going to be a star in the league. And I would keep riding with Justin Herbert here. I think he's putting up big numbers as a rookie. He's breaking all these records, and he's going to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point. And I think with Herbert, man, he stole that job with that, mistakenly getting pierced in the lung. That the weirdest possible injury I've ever heard in my life. But Hibbert stole that job. He's shown he's been proven, that he has, the skills. He's a nice young quarterback, with the league in good hands with this young kind of group. Him, Lamar, obviously, Patrick Mahomes. We can go down Kyler Murray. We can go down the list there.
Now watch Lamar end up with like 250 yards passed, and have about 4 or 5 touchdowns against in a divisional game. You always got the running aspect with him, so he can get you a couple of touchdowns just with his legs, and then he's going to throw for 2 or 3 touchdowns. So it might be one of those big games for Lamar. So I mean, if you pick Lamar, you can't fail with that one either. He can still have a good game against a great Pittsburgh defense too, who, by the way, they can get picked apart by the pass, though. That's the one thing that you can do against that Steelers defense is pick them apart by the pass because it's happened. So Tannehill did it last week. Carson Wentz did it the week before. You know, it took them a while, but they did it the week before. So either way, I think you can't. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of those three. Either.
We got a little bit of a roast right here.
Oh no.
Melvin Gordon had the worst flea flicker in all of it.
Yeah, I know.
All right, let's move on to wide receivers, which this should be a very interesting spot with Odell out. With I think that's the only major injury. Michael Thomas, I don't know what's going on with Michael Thomas. I know he had an issue with him punching a teammate, but is he not playing this week at all, or is there a bye week for the Saints?
I haven't heard anything, but I don't think if he's not
they're playing Chicago this week.
Okay, so he should be suiting up then, I would think.
Oh,
he said he's still questionable. He didn't practice today. It says that he's at a crossroad. He said, and he suffered that he had an ankle sprain in week 1, and then it was a hamstring. Then he said he punched a teammate, arguing with Sean Payton. So now they said that I don't know if he's going to play or not. So he's very questionable.
Yeah, you can't be arguing with Sean Payton. Like, I get it. Yeah. You may be frustrated, but that's the wrong guy to be arguing with.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Anybody else want to add anything onto that?
Actually, you know what? Whoever's looking for a receiver, there's this one guy in my fantasy league who's available right now, Nelson Aguilar. He's playing great for the Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders. So I feel like if someone's looking for that receiver for that 1 week to replace someone, Nelson Aguilar is your guy.
The guy could not catch a cold. We ran him out of Philly.
I knew you were about to say something, Courtney, because when he was in Philly, and nobody loved that guy.
Now he's catching balls in Las Vegas. So
maybe the gambling aspect of him is helping his game out. But man, this guy could not do anything with Philly, man. I tell you, man. But one wide receiver I like a lot is Brandon Ayuk from San Francisco 49ers. Wire right now, and in Seattle. Seattle's defense, they cannot stop anybody. They have to rely on their offense with Russell Wilson being Superman every week, and we see what Kyler Murray did to them last week. But yeah, he could. He's a good pickup, I think, for this week. Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver for the 49ers.
Good point. There was someone that just signed with the Tampa Bay Bucks. His name is Antonio Brown. Yeah. The one league I'm in, I think it's the Yahoo League. He's already been picked up. Now, who knows, first of all, what type of shape AB is going to be in. Number 2, when is he going to play? And number 3, is Tom Brady going to throw him the ball? Like, there's a lot of factors into this. I do think that's a stash and grab type guy because eventually he's gonna get some passes, I believe. But as of like right now, I'm saying you got to pick him up and you can hold on to him. But one other guy I wanted to bring up, Rashard Higgins in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. That's another guy with OBJ out. He already had, I think, a 100-yard game. And this is Rashard Higgins. I think this guy went to Colorado State. This isn't T. Higgins from Clemson. No. So don't get the two mixed up. T. Higgins is a good wide receiver, though, too. Yeah. And he's only owned in 4% of the league. So Rashard Higgins could be somebody to pick up.
So going back to the Antonio Brown situation, I was watching NFL Network today, and Billy McGinnis was on, and MJ Acosta, and they had Sarah Walsh on. So she said that she had the inside coverage for Tampa Bay Bucks this week. So she said that Antonio Brown looks great. They said that he looked great. Obviously, he can't be there because he's suspended. But Sarah said he looked great. He looks great. He looks fit. He's in shape. So when he comes into camp, they expect him to be ready for the game he's expected to play in, and expect him to get a lot of reps when he plays the first game.
You know who I just submitted a claim for just a second ago?
Antonio Brown?
Travis Fulgham.
Travis. Oh,
Yes.
Because of who is he playing?
Atlanta Falcons defense. There you go.
The Dallas
Cowboys. How about them Cowboys?
Foljam's probably gonna go off. So yeah.
Yes.
I thought he was former Lion, right? Or
Yeah, it was a former Lion. Yeah,
Okay,
Travis
Lion, yeah.
I got confused. Okay, I thought
our number one receiver right now with Deshaun out, and Ertz is out. So I mean,
what's up with Alshon? Can you give us something on that? Is he playing?
No, he's not playing. He got hurt again. He got hurt last week. He was
He haven't even played yet.
He didn't play. Right. He's on the trading block too. That's been the rumor. But he's been on the trading block all last year and this year. So good riddance. It's like you got to go. We re-signed him, and he started all those rumors with Carson Wentz not being a leader. He was the main factor of it. So he hasn't been a good guy in the locker room. So I don't think he's going to play in Philly again. So he could be gone next week, or he could play down the stretch. Not too sure what's going on with Alshon.
That did not work. I mean, that Super Bowl year, I think he played pretty well, but overall, if you look at his whole time there, you can probably answer this. That experiment didn't work out at all.
Yeah, he had the injuries the last couple of years. Like you said, the Super Bowl year, he played real well. He had connection with Wentz, he had connection with Foles, and I think he had over 10. He had 10 touchdowns, 80 catches, something like that, close to 1,000 yards. So he was, short-handed. He could, didn't have a lot of speed, but big hands, can get open and just jump balls. But it was just more of, I think, it's the attitude now, and also the injuries have really derailed his career. He probably just needs to go somewhere else. And,
Alshon Jeffrey would be a great fit in Green Bay. The Packers are looking for a receiver. And if you put Jeffrey on one side and you have Devontae Adams, look out. Aaron Rodgers will be
still be productive. Yeah, he can still be productive.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers would be grinning from ear to ear if they can do that. That would be great. He would love that. He would love that pickup. So, yeah.
How about another guy in the wide receiver waiver wire? I got a Curtis Samuel from the Panthers.
Oh, yeah. That's another good one. I like Curtis Samuel. I feel like he's going to be a breakout player, too.
Mm-hmm.
That is
a very favorable matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me see. Let me go to mine real quick, see if we have anybody else. I think that's pretty. Sterling Shepard. It looks like he's a free agent. Most.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't trust.
Oh wow!
I don't trust him.
So in my fantasy league, Travaris Landry's available.
Really?
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I guess it's an 18 league, so you don't have a lot of how many wide receivers on each team? What kind of format?
It's a PPR scoring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Jarvis Landry would definitely be a good pickup right now, especially OBJ is not there, so that's a good one.
Man, I wish I had that option.
Yeah, really.
I know.
Man, I'm like dumpster diving in my league, trying to figure out who I can or cannot, pick up. Let's look at tight ends now, which we kind of brought up a name. I think it was before we went live, or maybe while we were live. But Richard Rodgers, Rodgers from the Packers. You remember that long touchdown pass, that one game. He had a couple of good years. I don't know what happened. It looks like he just disappeared for at least a year or so. And now he is resurfaced with Philly. No Zach Ertz, no Goddard. So that's somebody I think that you have to pick up if you need a tight end.
That's true.
Yeah, the Eagles are trying to get these scrap people type of players, man, to get guys in the grocery stores and everything, man. But Wentz, he worked with this last year, and they went on that run, so it seemed like it's happening again. And he led the team in targets last week. He led them in catches and yards. He made a couple big plays down the stretch. So Wentz really believes in his tight end. So it's another good pickup. Philly's going to have a lot of pickups. I usually try to not do too many when I'm doing my lineups, because every time I pick the Eagles on fantasy, they don't do well at all. It's a divisional game, but there's going to Boston Scott's definitely one. And you said Richard Rodgers, he was one of the main guys, so he's a good pickup, I think, for at least this week.
Yeah, so he's available in my league too, and there's some really good tight ends in my league who's available. Gronk, actually, he's been heating up now. Gronk,
Yeah.
Hayden Hurst is available. Tyler Hawkinson from the Lions, he's available. Harrison Bryant, Jared Cook, Jimmy. I think his name is Jimmy Smith Smith from Tennessee, and then Jimmy Graham, and then Ebron is available, and Everett from the Rams.
Ebron is so up and down. Yeah. I had him on one of my teams, and it just didn't work out. So,
if he's available, only because of that security blanket kind of thing a young quarterback would like to have, I'd maybe even pick up Gesicki from the Dolphins.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one.
Yep, that's a good one.
That's a good one. Did somebody mention Harrison Bryant?
Yeah, from my league, he's available. Harrison Bryant.
Yeah, Cleveland. He's only owned in 1% of the leagues. Now the problem is, you got Njoku also that's in the mix. So who's going to get, most of the passes? Last week, I think he had the majority of the passes. So, that's something you can look at and consider. And we just talked about Baker. So Baker's going to be passing to everybody else but OBJ. So.
Yeah, he's going to, like you said, Harrison Bryant's going to be a real popular pick. I would go back in the well with Jonnu Smith. We talked about Tannehill and that security blanket. If it's not a running type of game with Derrick Henry, I go back with Jonnu Smith. I mean, he's had a couple of bad games, but I think he was hurt last week, but he did not playing. But they're playing the Bengals, so it's like a shootout. So I think he's another one. Jared Cook, I think he's in play this week, and I think out of the expensive ones, you can't never go wrong with Darren Waller from the Raiders. They're playing Cleveland, and then you guys still got Kelsey and Kittle. So if you want to get expensive with the tight ends, I think those are the top three, and then you could get good value down at the bottom.
Yeah, and Waller, man, Waller had a huge day, last week. So I think you can definitely factor that in. And Kittle, obviously, Kittle, Kelsey. Now Kelsey made me a little worried last week, and I think it was just because I don't know if it was the weather or what, but he just didn't have, one of his standout type days that he normally has. But that's Patrick Mahomes was uncharacteristic too. So they'll bounce back this week.
They unfortunately didn't have to do too much.
Special teams touchdown, pick six. And defense stepped up like they normally do. So
right, and if Mahomes, he's probably thinking, okay, I'm gonna get Kelsey involved, so he could have one of those big type games, 10 catches or something like. He's gonna have a lot of targets, so it could be one of those.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have a problem with Kelsey against the Jets.
Right,
I expect maybe Patrick Mahomes, and I could just be a little bit aggressive, but maybe 5 or 6 touchdowns against this team.
5 or 6.
I have Kelsey in my fantasy team, so I expect him to bounce back this week against the Jets, and Mahomes is going to light it up. And then Le'Veon Bell to get revenge on the Jets too. So,
ooh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's look at flex. Let's look at some flex guys, which obviously those are a mixture of all of those. Real quick story. I was in a league where we had a flex spot that was a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end. Like that was early in my fantasy days, but that was a crazy league because then you needed 3 to 4 quarterbacks, and I think it was like a 10 or 12 team league. So we had all types of mayhem going on. That was a fun league that we had. So looking at the flex spot, there's a couple of Carlos Hyde. Yep. It looks like he's questionable. I don't know what his true status is. And then another guy, Scotty Miller.
Yeah, he's been doing great with Tom Brady, and he reminds me of Edelman. You have like Wes Walker. Tom Brady loves these slot receivers, so I feel like Scotty Miller is a guy to pick up in this fantasy league too. So
yeah. Jordan, you want to add on some any other flex?
I'm actually going to go ahead and go for Hunter Renfrow from the Raiders.
Yeah.
Because when I look at Derek Carr, he didn't have this best game against the Buccaneers. I completely understand that, but he has been a lot better than a lot of people have predicted. And, with this Cleveland team, who I will remind everybody just gave up 34 points to the Cincinnati Bengals, I mean, Hunter Renfrow has the opportunity to get himself going against this team that doesn't have the greatest pass defense in the world.
True.
Yeah, that's good. That's true.
Actually, there's another one everybody should consider. He's available in my league. Cole Beasley from the Bills.
Yes.
Yeah.
Slot guys, man. Slot guys can give you a quick pass, a quick slant. And Cole Beasley had a great week last week. Now the problem obviously is Stephon Diggs is there. So Stephon Diggs is going to get a lot of looks. But if John Brown, the most unreliable wide receiver this year, I mean, I have this guy on, I think, one of my rosters or two. And I don't know if this dude's going to play or not. I don't know. One week he had 0 points, and I believe he played the whole game. So, Cole Beasley, former Dallas Cowboy too. He's definitely one of those perfect, slot receiver type guys.
Yeah. I like T.J. Hawkinson too from Detroit. If you do, now I wouldn't do two tight ends. I mean, sometimes you can get away with it if you can fit it in your flex position. But if you can get it, do it. But I wouldn't recommend it when it comes to fantasy. But I mean, these guys, they're productive. I mean, you can slot a lot of these guys, as we talked earlier. Brandon Ayuk. There's a lot of names you could put in that flex position and really be productive. So, but I had a question for you guys, like, when you guys are doing like your DraftKings and FanDuel, whatever you play, how do you guys set your roster? Do you guys go heavy on favorites, like the top heavy, or do you do more of a balance lineup?
For me, I know that when I look at least a quarterback, where I start off is, who is the defense that they're playing against? So, again, I am going to recommend you start Carson Wentz as your quarterback in your DraftKings league. And then from there, depending on how much you actually paid for him, then I'll get a little bit aggressive with, okay, my starting running back should be this guy because he's that great. But it's also, for me, it's a combination of who are you playing on defense and how much is this guy going to cost? I would say for your starting running back, at least your number one running back and number one wide receiver, I go cost alongside defensive strengths.
Okay. So for me, I look at the QB first. That's where I go to first. And then running back after that. And then the wide receivers, you can kind of move around with that. And then tight ends, honestly, if it's not Kelsey, Kittle, or Mark Andrews, I mean, the rest of the guys, it's a flip of the coin anyway. So I kind of figure out that. And in defense, I normally just pick last. Whoever is like the cheapest is normally who I go with, and normally that never works out for me. But the defense is always one of those spots where it could be crazy one week and horrible the next. So.
Yeah, I see a lot of people with the defensive spots when they do the DraftKings and FanDuel league. They kind of like said, just throw away the defense. Like, if I can get a couple points here, because like last week I had Washington. I figured, okay, they're playing Dallas, could be a shootout, maybe. Washington has a decent defense, they rush the passer and stuff. I didn't know they was gonna knock out the quarterback like that. But when they put up those points, I'm like, wait, they're up big. They're up 22-3. Okay, not to rub it in. I'm just saying that's how it was the cheapest defense. It was like 2,500. So, right, but yeah, my strategy usually is I try to go with balance and maybe try to get a couple of high rank either running backs or receivers. Like I said, sometimes I don't always pay for the tight end unless I know it's a matchup. Like Kelsey last week, I thought he was the only one that didn't do anything. But I usually go balance and then start from there, and then I try to wiggle a couple of sleepers or some value in my lineup. So yeah, I always like to see what strategies a lot of people use when they pick their lines. We always have different lineups each week.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. And this is my first year doing DraftKings, and I was like, it's really not that bad. And plus, I mean, it's like $3 to $5 a game, depending on the people.
For me, I don't do DraftKings, but I do like me and my friends, we do the official NFL fantasy thing.
Yeah.
So like, for us, it's all about balance and keeping your lineup consistent, and especially with the injuries, I like to pick up only value picks. So that especially with injuries, I like to do value picks. So
yeah. All right, well, let's look at defense. We're not going to do kickers because kickers, honestly, don't matter. they don't at all. But defense,
no. You know which kicker mattered though last week? The guy from the Bills against the Jets.
Yeah, just like Brandon McManus was important 2 weeks ago.
Right. There's real quick though. There's this guy. His name is Joe. What was it? Slack. I think his last name is it's Sly. Slye. He looks like the Fighting Irish mascot, but he's the Carolina Panthers. Hopefully, he can give me whatever these points are. But let's look at defenses, which obviously that could be important. It couldn't be. Chiefs is obviously always up there. Bills are one of those that's always up there. But let's look at some Packers, some kind of ones that are available. Colts is pretty good defense. Yeah. Chargers, Lions, Ravens are on that list too, which is a little bit surprising. But talk about some defenses, or what defenses do you guys have?
I have the Eagles defense, so I'm gonna keep it for this week and see how it goes.
Good idea.
Yes, real good idea. I like the Chiefs defense against the Jets, only because the way they've been scoring points, they're scoring, like you said, they're scoring them on special teams. If you can get a good defense with good special teams, can get to the quarterback, can cause interceptions and fumbles. I mean, I think they might have 20-point potential in DraftKings this week. So that might be, if you're going to pay for a defense, it's one of those things. Are you going to pay for that defense for $45? They're $4,500 this week. They're expensive. So or you can get some value. Miami and the Rams. It's so you can go either way with both of those teams.
Ticky-tacky.
It's very ticky-tacky, right, very ticky-tacky. But the Dolphins, I was reading, their defense and special teams got scored 12 points or more 3 of their past 4 games. So was Jared Goff gonna have one of those bad games where the Dolphins actually get some points? Take a risk with that. You could go with either one of those teams. And now the Rams are playing on the other side. They're playing Tua this week too. So his first game, first game starting. So that could be, the Rams could be a sleeper pick too as a cheap defense.
Aaron Donald right now, as he's lifting 500 pounds in a bench press, is licking his chops right now because he's going to be on that kid all night long. They better hope that Aaron Donald does not fall on him, because it's going to be a wrap early for this kid.
Oh, we have a comment here.
Yep. My week 8 lineup, should I change anyone or keep it how it is? Starters: Russell, Cook, Henry, Thielen, Adams, Waller, Zeke, Chiefs, and Butker. Bench Carson, Colts.
Wow, that's
okay. I mean, you got a good roster. The one thing I'm going to say, and I love my Cowboys, but don't start Zeke. They can't get any type of cohesive going right now, and we don't even know who's starting. So I would say I would take Zeke out. That would be my opinion.
But looking at the bench, it doesn't sound like he has a replacement, unless
Carson, know what? If Carson's healthy, though.
Oh, I thought that was Carson Wentz. Okay, so.
Herbert is, I guess maybe his QB.
Yeah, that lineup. I like that lineup.
That lineup is good, though.
Yeah, that's a really good lineup. How you get Adams and Thielen?
Wow.
Cook. Dalvin Cook, I think, is questionable, so that's another check on that
too. I wonder what's his backup running back. So
Chris Carson. If that's Chris Carson is questionable too.
He's questionable too. So he probably has no choice.
Waiver wire. LaMichael P. Ryan, Boston Scott. Those two.
Boston Scott.
That's been a frequent name all night long, thanks to my Cowboys defense. Hey, look, in DraftKings leagues, they should be giving away the Cowboys defense for free. Like they shouldn't even put a price. Like if that should be like one of those bonus things available that you just get for free because
you get paid $1 for taking the Cowboys defense.
Yes.
Now I will say this, just going back to defenses, if you're wanting to roll the dice on this, to use a casino analogy, I would really look at the Lions defense, because when I look at Phillip Rivers, he's unfortunately the type of guy in his career right now that's at least going to throw 1 or 2 interceptions for you.
That's a good point. Shout out to Speakeasy Sports.
What's up?
He was.
What's up, Speakeasy?
He was going to be on tonight, but he was doing an MMA. Who was the GOAT conversation, and he's a big MMA guy. But let us know if you got any questions. Easy, we'll be rocking for a little while longer. We got you. Anybody else wanted to touch on defenses?
I think actually I have some values here in my fantasy league that everybody should be looking at if they have anything available. Packers is available here. Rams is available. Titans available. Chargers available. And then we have 49ers, Dolphins available here. So.
All right. Easy says, let me check real quick. Okay. Kaiser on Twitch. Oh, believe me, I'm a Colts fan. I know this. Chiefs playing Jets, so that's why I'm starting them. Good point.
Let me see. Defense, you were just saying. The only one, Tampa Bay, they're playing the Giants this week, so that should be on the red lookout for them. We said the Rams against the Miami, Buffalo, New England. Buffalo's D. They're not as good as they were last year, but still solid. And we don't know what's up with New England. We don't know what Cam Newton we're going to get this week. So that's another one. You said Colts at Detroit. I think they're in play, the Colts. Saints in Chicago. That should be an interesting matchup too. The Saints, their defense is up and down. The Bears, who knows what you're going to get out of Nick Foles, and he had a bad game last week. So we'll see how he bounces back at home against the Saints. So those are just some of the matchups that I'm looking at too.
All right, so easy. We've been talking about this pretty much all night. Boston Scott, 2 words.
Boston Scott. And Chase Edmonds is another one too. Chase Edmonds.
And LaMichael, if you're really desperate, LaMichael P. Ryan for the Jets. Now, I don't know what they're going to do. Kaiser on Twitch, Rivers is going to carry us or bury us. True. Facts, my friend. I know a guy who can use them. I think you might have been talking about the defenses. So as we're looking at our rosters, we can do a little sit and start. And if you guys got to go, it's cool because I know some of you guys are on the East Coast, but it's a little late night. But Gronk or Jonnu Smith. We talked about Jonnu Smith. He is very, very hard to be confident in what he's going to do. But Gronk seems to kind of got into his groove. He seems to be, kind of spot on with our with Grandpa Tommy, what I call him now, Tom Brady.
And they are playing against the Giants.
And he's projected to get more. So I'm going to start Gronk, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts.
I'm going to start Gronk too because, I was not on him last week, but he definitely proved me wrong after, going off for about, 5, I believe it was 5 receptions, 90-something yards and a touchdown. And so if you could do that against the Raiders, I'm sure he's not going to have a problem doing, having another good game against this Giants defense team, who, again, I will remind everybody, is in the NFC least. And basically, if you have anybody starting against any particular team in the NFC least, you are going to want to start them in fantasy.
Facts.
Yeah, for me, I'm starting Gronk also because he's starting to heat up. And with O.J. Howard out for the season, Tom Brady has that security blanket with him, and obviously in New England. So Gronk is the guy right now for me.
I like John Smith. I like Smith because of the Tannehill situation. But if it goes a Derrick Henry type of game, then Smith is not the play. But I like John Smith against the Bengals. I think he can exploit that defense, and I think he's going to bounce back from last week, having a bad game last week. But Gronk's in play too, because he said they're playing the Giants, and the Giants can't guard anybody; they can't defend anybody. But I like Jonnu Smith over Gronk slightly, though. But you could pick either one. But I like Smith.
All right, we got a question from man. You got a tough one, my man. Sit one. Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, Tyler Boyd.
Man, I would think
I'm sitting Stephon Diggs because I get it. The Patriots defense got absolutely shellacked last week, but this is a Bill Belichick defense. They're not going to put up another performance like that again. And listen, another big story in this particular situation is the fact that the Bills' offense has been very inconsistent. They could be as hot as they could against, teams like the Rams, teams like possibly the Chiefs, but, the Jets, having to see them put 18 points against them and then getting blown out by Tennessee, like that's where I'm a little bit concerned. Now, I still think they're going to win the division, don't get me wrong, but in terms of their offense, I'm worried about them playing the Patriots.
Good point.
I agree with that. I think you do sit Diggs out of those four. I tell you this though, Keenan Allen. Then you talk about wide receivers. I think he might be the pickup, and compared to all the other receivers in DraftKings 6,200, I'm thinking about going with him because he's averaging 22 points a game on DraftKings, and he's getting the targets too. So
I won't say you're wrong, but I hope he has a terrible day.
Yes, right.
Look, pretty simple. Tyreek Hill is going to get his regardless. I don't care who it is. Keenan Allen is going to get his. Yep. Tyler Boyd is like AJ Green. He had a good week last week, but AJ Green is no longer the number one wide receiver. It's Tyler Boyd. So Stephon Diggs is going to – I have man out. Nathan, you want to add anything onto that?
Obviously, I agree with Stephon Diggs. Sit Stephon Diggs. You have a lot of great options here. And speaking of AJ Green, I expect him to get traded this before the trade deadline. So.
Ooh, hot take.
He asked. Supposedly, if you could read lips pretty well, it sounds like he said, I want to be traded. Now, Carlos Dunlap, who just got traded today, that dude took it at a whole nother level. He put his house
up for Seattle. Seattle needed pass rush, and they
needed that. They needed that. All right, we got another question. So for Zeke, should I bench, trade, drop him entirely? Boston Scott is available, by the way. I just don't know how to make room for him. That's a really good point. Oh man!
If you can bench Zeke, do it. Don't get rid of Zeke though. Do not drop him.
Because this week, Boston is going to get more than Zeke, in my opinion.
Unless if someone offers you a great package, then you trade it. But if I were you, just put him on the bench for this week. So.
Right, and remember he's got Cook, and Cook is questionable. Start Zeke. And to pick up Boston Scott, put him in the flex. That's another option, and then have Dalvin Cook off, just bench him. But I wouldn't get rid of – it's hard. Don't get rid of your stud. Yeah. Don't get rid of – Zeke's still a stud. Running back.
Yeah, he's just not having a good season and a good past couple of weeks. But if they get him the ball, he still has the way to produce. But it's like the thing with these Cowboys, which I'm sure everybody probably knows already, as they get down in points, they just abandon the run. They just totally forget that they had a running back every single week. Blue Crew, thank you for jumping in. Thank you everybody for the questions too. Let me not forget.
Yeah, keep it coming. That's the reason why we're here.
Definitely.
Questions, yes.
Half point PPR, need one flex. Cup, Hollywood Brown, Melvin Gordon, or Rashad Higgins. Woo, Blue Crew.
I'm going Melvin Gordon.
I would say the same thing. I'm always going to lean towards the running back because they can get obviously rushing yards and receiving, and Melvin Gordon's going to be starting this week. So,
and Gordon does have a favorable matchup against the Chargers.
Yes, he does. Yes, playing
revenge game right there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Gordon too. I like Gordon. Gordon, and if I had to pick another, it would be Cup, probably just because of the potential of him having a big game. But Melvin Gordon.
Honestly, if you don't have Gordon available, I'm gonna go with Higgins.
Yeah. Hollywood Brown is not dependable. I'm sorry, because the Lamar could just run all day and pass the ball 9 times. I mean, it could be that. And Mark Andrews is his end zone target. So that already kind of eliminates Hollywood Brown. But Cup, though, I definitely agree. Higgins is going to be the guy. And also the guy that Baker Mayfield threw that touchdown pass to is probably going to get some more looks, too. Peoples Jones. So, be on the lookout for that, too.
My peoples.
Let's look at another situation, some people may be in. You've got, let's see, Marvin Jones Jr., which he's projected to get 6.3 points, or Brandon Ayoku, we just mentioned him, from 49ers. So I'm going to put Ayoku in there. I think Marvin Jones has just not been dependable this year.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ayuk because the Colts are, I would consider them a good defense regardless. So I really don't trust Detroit's offense against the Colts anyway.
Yeah, I got Ayuk in there too. He's a great receiver, and obviously the Colts defense is good, but I feel like Ayuk will put up bigger numbers than Marvin Jones at this point. So
yeah.
I like Ayuk a lot this week. 6 catches, 115 yards against New England last week. He's becoming Jimmy G's, looks like his number one target right now. Well, besides Kittle, of course. And their receiving corps so banged up each and every week. So Ayuk's turning into at least their number one receiver outside of Kittle. So and then, like I said, Seattle secondary, they're beatable. They can get
obviously.
Yeah, they're shreddable.
Yeah.
Wow. Kyler Murray just went off. If you putting up 400 yards, this is no longer this is the Legion of whack. You got a question from Claudio Jenkins, man. We touched on this a little bit earlier. What are your thoughts on Antonio Brown? Should I trade for him? It depends on what are you trading for Antonio Brown, because Antonio Brown is, I don't know if he's going to hit the ground running immediately, because there's a lot of weapons that's already there. You look at Fournette. Fournette, you thought, he's going to take over. But Ronald Jones II is the lead back. So
McCoy has been the lost cause in this offense. I don't know why. McCoy, I mean, they have so many weapons. It's a good problem to have, but I mean,
fantasy-wise,
do you see like McCoy getting opportunities here, or what's the plan for McCoy?
I totally forgot LaShawn McCoy was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, by the way.
Right.
I did too, until I seen him. I was like, who's that McCoy guy? Oh, that's shady. but yeah,
it depends on the trade-off. Yeah. It depends on the trade offer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch Antonio Brown yet at all until you see what they. I know he's Brady wanted him, he got him, but like you said, they got a lot of mouths to feed, and they're starting to roll right now too. And again, if Antonio Brown messes up, they'll just cut him. They'll just like, you know what?
Yeah, they cut bait.
Yeah, they'll cut bait. Yeah. And you got Gronk now too. Gronk starting it. I mean, that's Brady's guy right there. So.
And then the thing is, Arians said like a couple months ago that we don't need him, and then the Tom Brady effect. Tom Brady said, well, hey, Bruce, just bring him in and see what happens. And now he's here. So Claudio got a follow-up question, and I'll get to yours, Kaiser. But trade Robert Woods for him as my wide receiver 3.
No.
I would say no.
No.
Keep Robert Woods, man. Robert Woods will put up numbers in your fantasy league.
And you gotta factor in, playing and working out is different than in-game action. Clearly, we can see with all these injuries. And AB, could end up pulling a hammy right out the gate. Then you're stuck with AB. So that's to me, that's a waiting game. I would say do not trade Robert Woods. Kaiser Colts getting Leonard back as well. Also, Shelton Day will finally play after being injured since week 1. However, our secondary definitely needs work. So, yeah, Lions wide receiver is a smart choice.
And
so maybe we were talking about
Hawkinson.
But the Colts getting Leonard back is going to be huge.
Yeah.
That puts them in the top, the top echelon right there.
And don't forget that one of the linebackers coming back too, Kamiko Toure, from an injury. So watch out for him too.
Nice. Keep those questions coming. We got YouTube is normally where it blows up. So you guys have any questions at all, keep it in there.
I love these questions. Come on.
Keep it coming.
Kareem Hunt. We're looking at DraftKings. Kareem Hunt. It says he's questionable. Ribs, limited practice today. This is an interesting dynamic here because if you don't have Kareem Hunt, I guess it's going to be Dearness Johnson, maybe. The guy that ran for 95 yards on the Cowboys. But any updated news on Kareem Hunt that you guys may know of?
They said he was limited in practice. He got the rib injury from last week. He was handled a full workload last week, 21 touches. He scored a 7th touchdown. So he's been practicing, so he more than likely will play. Nick Chubb's still a few weeks away too. So Hunt, I didn't pick him last week. I almost did, but I couldn't fit like 4 running backs. So I was like, man, I had Hunt too, and at one point, so I was like, yeah, somebody's got to sit. So, but Hunt's another good pickup against the Vegas Raiders. So yeah, keep checking the injury report. Adam Schefter and all those guys. So yeah. Jonathan
Taylor. This is from Claudio. I hope he breaks out sooner rather than later. The problem is there's Jonathan Taylor, there's Akeem Hims, and then there's another guy. Like I don't know if this is running back by committee or if this is a let's see who breaks out of the pack, but I'm shying away from any Colts running back.
Yeah, I really am because you don't know who they're going to try and get the majority of the workload to, and in my opinion, the offensive line for the Colts has been inconsistent. They're not producing the run attack that we're accustomed to have seeing in in the past years, especially since Andrew Luck retired all of a sudden.
Yeah, in the middle of a game. Well, no, at the end of the game, or was it in the middle of the game?
It was before the beginning of the season that he retired.
Yeah, while he was on the sideline, and he's walking off, and people are throwing cans and booing him.
Oh, no, I think you're thinking of the guy from the Bills that used to play for the Colts.
Andrew. We're talking about Andrew Luck, right?
Well, Andrew Luck, I thought retired, before the beginning of the season, but there was one guy who played for the Bills that literally walked away during halftime and decided to retire.
I remember that. Yep.
Monte Davis, I think.
Monte Davis, yeah.
Yeah. Walked right off, just like I'm done. I'm done. But the Jonathan Taylor, he said he hasn't been the same since week 2. I'm just looking at his stats. He had that one big game, 26 carries, 101 yards in week 2, and then it's been 13 carries, 17 carries, 12 carries. So he's not getting the touches like he did in week 2. So it's been up and down. So yeah, I'm staying away from Jonathan Taylor.
So you got 3 guys: Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, and then Jordan Wilkins. I was looking at the DraftKings league, and they got those 3 guys like all in the middle at like 4,500 each. And I'm like, no, I can't. You can't pick any of those guys. But Kaiser, I know I think you're the Colts fan. I hope they all play well, but I don't know what's going to happen. I just haven't seen the explosiveness from college tape for Taylor. That's a good point, because with Taylor in college, he was a Heisman Trophy candidate, but now with going into the league, who knows? Who knows what it'll be? Let's see. Claudio, should I trade Taylor? Ooh, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Taylor, Allen Robinson for James Conner and DK Metcalf, full PPR. My other wide receivers, Galladay, Woods, and Chark.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say yes.
Yes. I would say yes, and then don't turn back.
Connor is the goal line back. I don't care whoever else comes in there. They're going to bring Connor in, bearing injury. And Metcalf is.
Yeah, he's having a breakout year.
Yeah.
If he's open at all, if there wasn't that penalty on that play, he would have got some points. In that they would have won the game really, but it was a holding call.
And I don't expect that they're going to throw to Tyler Lockett every time like they did in that game. I mean, that was –
Lord.
I'll tell you what, going back to last week, if you had Tyler Lockett on your team and you still lost your fantasy matchup, then something's wrong with your team.
This guy, that was me. I had Tyler Lockett, but then I think that was the same team I had the guy from the Texans who obviously didn't give me any points. So yeah, I had the guy that got injured Sunday night. I had Kenyon Drake on that team too. So that was a bad weekend for me.
Yeah, and this was the first game Metcalf had the first game he's had a bad game. Like he's been on a roll, and he only had 2 catches last week. But you said Tyler Lockett is Russell Wilson. Just whoever's open, that's who he's going to. And Lockett he was keyed in on Lockett last week, and Metcalf should have a big game this week too. So if you can, like I said, if you can get DK Metcalf and James Conner, and you already got Galladay, Woods, and Chark, you're loaded at receiver.
Yeah. So Andrew Luck, talking about the Andrew Luck was booed by the fans during 2019 preseason game against the Bears. During the game, Adam reported on it. People heard it. Yeah, that was in the middle of the game. It was. I don't think it was supposed to come out, but obviously, when it comes to Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, they're gonna put that news out there whenever it's available. Yeah, he said I cried watching his retirement speech. The thing is with Andrew Luck is that I don't think he ever reached his full potential because he was always injured. In the times he wasn't injured, they didn't have a great season, or they made the playoffs and they got out the first round. So he just never really got to that full,
He never had a great O-line. I mean, I remember, I believe, talking about this on the last fantasy show, but it doesn't matter if you get a Trevor Lawrence or, you get one of these great quarterbacks coming out of the draft. If your offensive line stinks, then there's nothing a great quarterback can do to help fix your team.
True. Metcalf is a freak of human after watching. Yeah, when he ran down Buda Baker, and just like his strides, and Buda Baker, it didn't matter how fast Buda Baker was running, Metcalf was going to catch him. He ran past everybody. Quick shout out to Jack Goff Jr. He says AP or Ingram. I'm assuming that's got to be
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson or what's the guy's name? Melvin, not Melvin. The running back for Mark Ingram. Yeah. So who would you cut? Need to keep one for depth. Also, just lost Odell. MT doesn't like football no more. Waiver got Hasty, Clark, and Aguilar. So the first part of the question, AP or Ingram? Ingram, I don't think Ingram is healthy, and I don't know. That's a good one there. I'm gonna let somebody jump in on that one first.
I am going to cut Adrian Peterson because I think DeAndre Swift is really starting to tell everybody that he is the premier at running back for this Detroit Lions team. And, I get it. Mark Ingram, is inconsistent, and in some games it feels like Lamar Jackson is running the ball by himself. But in terms of the actual starting running back for the Baltimore Ravens, it is Mark Ingram. So AP's got to go, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree too. I think AP's got to go. I think he's losing touches now, and if he's not, I mean, he's got to have 15, 20 carries just to be productive nowadays, and maybe more. And they're not giving him that. So, I mean, that's a tough situation because I would cut both of them if I could. I would go with Ingram. I would keep Ingram because of Baltimore, they love to run the football, so they go with the hot hand, and Ingram can be that guy.
I have both Baltimore Ravens on my fantasy team. J.K. Dobbins I have Ingram too. So I have both Ravens running backs on my team. So if I just cut AP, keep Ingram. But going to his second question, I really like this waiver wire. So if I were him, take Nelson Aguilar. I mentioned him earlier. He's having a great season so far, and he had a great game last week with the Raiders. So pick him up, and I think Ben said Hasty's another great option too.
Yeah, the thing is, it's going to be running back by committee, so just beware that Jeff Wilson Jr. is going to get some touches. I think Jarrett McKinnon is still there. I don't know if he's healthy. So I mean, you just got to kind of play your cards. All right, Blue Crew, PPR trade feedback. Should I trade away Cup in returns for Gaskin? I like that's a good one. More receiving core consists of Thielen, Godwin, Hollywood Brown, T. Higgins. Oh, you got both Higgins.
And Claypool.
Wow. Kamara, Montgomery, and Gordon. Man, Blue Crew. I don't know what you did to get this roster, but should I trade?
Some witchcraft.
I mean, since you're stacked, at wide receiver, I would say yes, because Gaskin is going to be the running back. They don't have. I don't think they're splitting carries. I don't think with anybody. So I would say yes.
That's a great trade.
Yeah, I'll pick it. I would take Gaskin too. As you said, you got Thielen, Godwin, T. Higgins, got the Rashard Higgins too, and Claypool, Kamara. Yeah, I would take Gaskin. You can definitely get see if you can get something else too for Cup. Yeah. You can get Gaskin and somebody else if you can. But Gaskin's the number one running back on the Dolphins, and now with Tua playing, he's going to need all the help he can get.
Facts. He's going to need that running game because he's not going to be passing 50 times a game, believe me. So Gaskin is going to get the ball.
Yeah, I'm going Gaskin too.
Yeah. All right. Once CMC is healthy, do you guys think are like him, say top 8 running backs moving forward? Yes. When he's healthy.
Sure, yep.
He's that guy.
Not even top 8. I say top 5.
Okay.
Yeah, top 2, top 3, maybe. He's healthy.
Definitely at least top 5.
Yeah. He's healthy because I don't know who else you would pick over him, even moving forward. Alvin Kamara, possibly, and Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think CMC is right there with those guys when he's healthy. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Kaiser on Twitch says Grigson should be literally charged with murder for what he did to Andrew Luck.
I think that owner needs to go too.
Yeah, they've bringing in. I get it. You want to bring in a vet and you bring in Phillip Rivers, but Phillip Rivers is not the long term. So, what are you doing long term?
Right.
That's my question for anybody that's a Colts fan. All right. I'm shocked AP hasn't retired. Man, this keeps running. I don't know if he'll last as long as Frank Gore, but man, he's running for something. Insert domestic child abuse joke here. Good one, my man. I wish I had the Kawhi laugh track. That would be perfect right there. But AP is going to play until he falls over.
Yeah.
AP is just going to be one of those people that play.
And so is Frank Gore.
Frank Gore too. Yeah. Frank Gore was he 3rd or 2nd on the all-time?
I think 2nd. I'm not too sure. I got to double check that one.
Yeah, I think he's 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah. That's Kim Chi, I believe is what that is. Thank you for coming through. PPR pick 2.
Oh wow.
Woods Fournette.
I'm going Woods and Fournette.
Go ahead.
because I think Woods is getting more of the targets for the Rams, and they do have some favorable matchups coming up, in my opinion. And then with Fournette, I know he's not used as much as Ronald Jones II, but there is the potential for him to get some carries, some runs, even some catches. I just don't think the Rams are trying to use Kupp as much. I feel like they're steering away from him.
Yeah, and he was following up with this week is when he's asking this. I would go Kupp, and I would go Kupp and Fournette. I think you cannot go 2 wide receivers on one team. To me, that's going to equal a disaster, because one of them is going to get more than the other. Who knows? 2 of them could blow up, but the probability of both of them blowing up on the same day is rare.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side, Fournette, I don't know how many yards Fournette's going to get, because Ronald Jones is that guy, there. So you're in a little bit of a conundrum. But I would say Kupp. I would go Kupp and Fournette. What do you say, Courtney?
Yeah, that's a tough one, because, like you said, we don't know what type of work Fournette's going to get, and he doesn't really catch out of the backfield either. So PPR. But then, like you said, he's got both Woods and Kupp. I guess I would go Woods and Fournette if I had to pick out of those 3. But PPR, like you said, you can go Kupp and Woods too, but they're on the same team. So that's a tough one.
Now, positive note, Fournette did have 12.7 points if you're looking at Yahoo leagues, and they play the New York Football Giants on a Monday night. So he's probably going to get some touches, because playing the Giants,
playing the Giants is just a teensy step higher than playing the Jets.
I thought you were going to say the Cowboys, but okay, you didn't say that, so I'm okay.
Well, the Cowboys are, better than the Giants technically.
Yeah,
they are it's like if you want to do like the ladder, it's the Jets, then it's the Giants, then it's the Cowboys.
Yeah. What are y'all thoughts on Mixon? Mixon is questionable. I just looked it up. It doesn't look like he's day to day. As of right now, it's Wednesday. So this is one of these, kind of tough to say, but you're gonna have to play it by, as you get closer to the day. But I like Mixon a lot, and I think Mixon is the lead back there, and he's gonna get his touches.
Yeah, if he's back there, if he's healthy, he's the lead guy for them. But Gio Bernard, I picked him up. Like I said, I had him on my squad last week. He did big. He somehow, some way, he always gets in the mix. Giovanni Bernard, he's always in free agency for fantasy, and he gets playing time all the time. And now he's going to be the lead back, at least if Mixon. I don't know if Mixon's going to play or not, but if Mixon doesn't play, then Bernard's definitely the pick.
Yeah. All right. Next one, based on the 2 wide receivers comment, yes. Thielen or Jefferson?
Okay. To be fair, I don't like any of these 2 wide receivers just because of the quarterback. But
I would say Thielen because of the experience here, and Justin Jefferson, obviously rookie and still up and coming, but I would say Adam in this situation.
Yeah, I would go Thielen. Now, who are they playing?
They got the Packers.
It's a rivalry game. If I had to pick one, I would say he's going to go to the guy he knows the best, which is Thielen.
Yeah,
and not Jefferson. So,
yeah, Thielen still gets the most targets out of both of them right now, and is still the more short-handed receiver. So I got to go Thielen too.
All right, let's go Lamar Jackson versus Pitt or Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
Herbert?
Yep, Justin Herbert. I trust him a lot more than Lamar Jackson against Pittsburgh.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it's a tough one because, like Courtney said, it's still Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's probably going to give you, but Herbert's the hot hand right now. I think that's who you got to roll with. You guys are great with the explanations, man. Appreciate that.
We appreciate you stopping by, man.
Yeah, definitely subscribe. Click that bell, so wherever we go live. Yeah, definitely. Nathan, I know you have one. Put that in the comments if you can. You can put it on the YouTube or on the Facebook. Probably put it on the YouTube side because it looks like that's more popping. But yeah, man, we do our best. All of us give great content in our respective podcasts, and also when we get together, it's dope. Herbert or Wilson for this week? Herbert plays Denver. Wilson plays San Francisco. Wilson, man. Russ. It doesn't matter who Russ is playing, and you got to pick Russ.
Got to let Russ cook. He's cooking. He's the MVP still. And the funny thing is, he had a average game last week, and still threw for 4.
Did he throw for 2 picks?
Three picks. Yeah, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. 3 picks, 3 touchdowns, and 400 yards.
That never happened.
So, he's still in the mix. And they probably should have won that game, but you got to go with the MVP, Russell Wilson, each and every week. Now, last year I had him on my team. I had him and Big Ben last year on my regular fantasy team, and Big Ben gets hurt, so I played Russ and just rolled all the way almost till I got to the championship round. So Russell Wilson, he had MVP year last year, and to me, he's the MVP this year. So he's the top, I think, the top quarterback right now, fantasy wise, and MVP, and for MVP.
Herbert. Right, man. Herbert. Who said Herbert?
Oh, no, there's a question here for you, I think.
Oh, I thought you were saying. Well, I'm going with Russ.
I'm going Russ Wilson.
I'm going Russ too.
Okay. Yeah, I thought somebody said Herbert. That's why I was like, who? All right, man. That's Kim Chi bringing in the questions, man. I appreciate this. Darrell Henderson or Fournette? That's a good question.
I would say Darrell Henderson because, like we said earlier, Fournette, you don't know how many carries. Obviously, Ronald Jones is there too, so I'll take Darrell Henderson here.
Yeah, I'm going to take Darrell Henderson too, just because, we know that he's going to get the majority of the carries, and the Dolphins are, the best running defense.
Yeah.
So you got Malcolm Brown and you got Cam Akers, and like we just said, I'm going to actually go with Fournette because I think them playing the Giants, say if Ronald Jones get his touches, Fournette's going to get some too, and who knows, he may get a goal line touch. So I'm gonna go Fournette.
I like Henderson too, just because, like I said, with Fournette. Even though Fournette, I was just looking, he had 6 catches last week, so I mean they got him involved in the passing game. But Darrell Henderson, he's still getting like 15 carries a game, and like I said, they're playing Miami, so I think that's a good matchup for the Rams anyway. So I like Darrell Henderson in that one.
All right. Kim Chi says I have 3 Rams players, bro.
Is he a Rams fan?
You got to be a Rams fan because that and you got to tell us who. I know you said you got Kupp and you have Woods, so I guess Henderson.
Yeah.
Wow, man, you got to be a Rams fan. Thank you for subbing.
Play those Rams, I guess.
Yeah.
I put my YouTube. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to and let me brag on Nathan for a minute. This dude will interview like Jesus on Monday. He'll have Michael Vick on Tuesday. I mean, the interviews this guy comes out with is great. The amount of interviews he does, the consistency, and the people that he's able to get on. So definitely subscribe, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for the shout out. And everybody who's in this chat right now, tune in next Wednesday. I'm having Coach Hugh Jackson on, so I'm really looking forward to that interview.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. And I don't think he's coaching right now, right?
No, he's a former. I think he's trying to. I'm gonna ask him if he's trying to come back. So
yeah, this may be the question of the night right here. Darren Waller, which we talked about him against Cleveland, or Mark Andrews against Pittsburgh.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
And here's the thing: Andrews is not money. If it's not, it's almost like if it's not the perfect situation, he's not going to get the ball. Darren Waller went off. I mean, let me look it up exactly, but he had over 10 passes last week. So I'm gonna go with Waller.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Waller too.
Mm-hmm. I agree, Waller here because Pittsburgh's defense is no joke. They're playing at a high level. And Mark Andrews to me is like a goal line tight end in my opinion. So I feel like at this point, Darren Waller, because he's he can catch the ball on the outside everywhere. So I'll go with Waller.
Yeah, me too. I like Waller. Just the matchup itself. And also he's the main focal point, I think, of that Raiders offense. And the thing he does against Cleveland, they play Cleveland this week. I think that he should have a big game against them. So I like Waller, just the value. And Andrews, to me, he's more boom or bust. As you said, if he doesn't get a touchdown, it's usually he's not getting the points either. So I definitely like Waller over Andrews this week.
Okay. That's Kim Chi says he's a Cowboys fan.
That's what makes it worse.
My man, it does make it worse, but you got two Cowboys fans. We're here for you, man. We're here for you, man. We got you. We feel your pain.
I'll send you a box of tissues, Kim Chi.
They send us all one. They send us that large box.
I'll mail you all the tissues.
Yeah, we're gonna be crying all year long.
Courtney, don't think you're innocent too, Mr. 2-4.
Oh no, we're 2-4-1. I can't talk too much.
Yeah, Kaiser on Twitch says that's even sadder. I got NFL Network in the background. They had Tua working out. Man, they are pumping up this Tua first start. I get it.
Yep.
They are pumping this thing up like crazy. It's almost like it's like the second coming of somebody famous. I mean, I get it. You know, he was the top pick, but again, this is a guy that gets injured quite often. So hopefully it doesn't happen now. I pray it doesn't happen, but you never know. Mm-hmm. So if I have Russ and he's an instant start, should I bother keeping Herbert or do I trade
Herbert?
Try and trade him.
You need
you got two.
I say keep him. Unless you can get something. If you need, like I said, if you need something, like if you need a running back or if you need a receiver or something, but if you can keep two good quarterbacks, you keep them because you just don't know if someone gets hurt or anything like that. Yeah, bye week. And if say Russ does, God forbid he doesn't get hurt, but say he does get injured and he's out for weeks, put Herbert in there because he's playing well right now. And then you're set. You're set with quarterbacks. So it's always good to have two good quarterbacks when you're playing fantasy football.
Yeah, I'd keep Herbert in your back pocket.
Yeah. And the biggest thing this year is injuries. So Russ is having a great year, but a lot of people were having a great year and they end up getting injured for the year. So you almost have to overstock this year because you never know what's going to happen. Now, if you're in a 8-team league like our friend Nathan is, then you may be good, but for a lot of people, it's going to be hard. Let's see, he's got to follow up in before he gets injured on the first play of the game. Yeah, I hope that does not happen, but that's going to be a little disastrous for you if that does happen. And got it. I'll keep Herbert, Wilson, Claudio. Oh, somebody want to add on to that?
Yeah. So speaking of the Tua situation, this is an interesting question for Dolphins front office. Do they consider trading Ryan Fitzmagic because they know the injury history of Tua? So do they end up keeping him after the trade deadline just to make sure as an emergency? If something happens to Tua, I hope not. But if Tua gets injured, you have Ryan there. The question is, do they weigh of trading him or just keeping him at the end?
Yeah. So. Claudio says, are there any trades you'd like to see before the deadline for fantasy?
All right. I have a lot of interesting trades.
Go ahead.
All right, this is my fantasy right here. I would like the Cowboys. I mean, not the Cowboys. Sorry. The Packers need Patriots, Packers, and some of these other teams need wide receivers. So I would like to see the Patriots go after and try and get Alshon Jeffrey for their team, and then even the Packers and But the one receiver I think that would take them over the hump with the Packers. I don't know if this will happen. Obviously, they should really go after the guy from the Chiefs, but I don't think they'll trade him. But I would rather I pick up the phone, try and get Tyreek Hill in Green Bay.
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
That may not happen. The one thing I would want to see is if the Saints possibly trade
Michael.
What's my guy?
Yeah, Michael Thomas could be on the trade block.
Michael Thomas. But also I was gonna say the backup quarterback. Drawing a blank.
Winston.
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 If that's something they would do, but the flip side of that is we already know that this is Breeze's last year, and I think that's who they're going to hand the keys to. But
speaking of trades, Ben, do you see us trading Amari Cooper before the trade deadline?
I don't think so. I do see a wide receiver getting traded, and maybe it ends up being Gallup because we just which I would hate to see, but Amari just got signed, so I don't see that happening. And there was a guy that actually just mentioned that was Claudio.
Oh.
He said, "I'd like to see the Cowboys to trade Gallup to the Packers." Mike Evans.
Wow, Mike Evans.
Mike Evans ain't going nowhere.
He's staying.
Not with Brady throwing him the ball now.
They just got Des Bryant to the practice squad. So
yeah. That's Kim Chi says I'm streaming Richard Rodgers versus Dallas. Good move.
Beautiful move.
Yes,
beautiful move.
I give it 2 thumbs up. Yes. That is a great move.
Travis Fulgham, Richard Rodgers, and Boston
Scott.
Exactly. Boston Scott.
Basically,
2 words.
You've got three beautiful players to start. You've got 3 beautiful players to start against the Cowboys defense.
Yes. Now if the tight end from the Giants, which I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Evan Ingram.
If Evan Ingram can run a reverse on us, then anything could happen for tight ends. I mean, it doesn't matter.
If the Giants can put up 34 points against this team, then you gotta start somebody against the Cowboys.
Yes.
Let's see, Claudio, you got a nice roster. Kyler, obviously that's a great thing. CMC, Taylor, Mixon, Swift, Devontae Adams. I believe that Allen Robinson, Scary Terry, Cup, and Andrews. What's your record in that league? Because you looking
not a bad squad. It's a really good squad.
That's awesome.
I want the coach to try and get a wide receiver and trade Hilton. Oh, I was going to bring that up. What happened to T.Y. Hilton?
He just
fell off of
it. Here.
Maybe it's because Phillip Rivers doesn't have maybe a good relationship with him. That's
I think T.Y. Hilton. You know what? Speaking of T.Y. Hilton, there's another good fit for Green Bay.
Might as well.
Aaron Rodgers he would take any receiver at this point. So T.Y. Hilton is another.
Could be on the block. Yeah. Jacoby Brissett.
Might as well.
Forget about Jacoby Brissett over there too. I mean, I don't think he has a future with the Colts. Not now, especially now they're all in on Rivers at least for this year, and I don't think Brissett's going to be there next year, so he could be on the train. Dwayne Haskins, another quarterback.
Yeah.
That the Washington football team gave up on so quickly.
Darnold. Darnold's probably gonna be on his way out.
Darnold,
yeah.
We got Jacob Piccolo. Thank you for tuning in tonight or this morning, wherever you are.
Ooh, wow.
I traded Antonio Gibson, Justin Jefferson, Godwin for James Robinson and Kenny Galladay. Thoughts? Antonio Gibson is only good against the Cowboys, so you're not missing anything there. Jefferson and Godwin, though, those are studs right there.
Yeah, it's almost like this trade was basically Godwin for Galladay. That's what it seems like more than anything. Galladay, he's so up and down. He's productive, but it's that Detroit offense. That's the only thing. But Godwin, he's been injured, so I mean, it's a decent trade. I guess it depends what you needed. So it looks like he needed. You know.
I don't see a loser, but I don't see a winner in this trade.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's blah. You know, I think it's pretty even as possible now. And when it comes to James Robinson, you know, Jacksonville's not going anywhere this year. Now he did have 30 points last week. It looks like he's been averaging, looks like about double-digit points. So you're adding something on there. So I definitely would give you that.
I have Robinson on my fantasy team too. The running back.
Yeah. James Robinson.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and Galladay, like he is up and down. So you know, I think you think you're even, maybe a little bit below even on that one. Mm-hmm. Kaiser on Twitch. Jacoby Brissett is probably one of the best backup QBs in the league. So I'm sure someone will sign him. Maybe the Jets if they want to save Darnold. And Brissett, what happened? I thought they were in on the Brissett bandwagon, but now it looks like they just decided to trade everything for the guy from.
Maybe the Cowboys should get him.
Yeah,
Cowboys get a quarterback.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, Jacoby Brissett, man. I think the Dallas Cowboys should consider him because at this point, I feel like he can help. I think he can fit in that system. Like he's not like Dak. I'm not saying he's Dak Prescott. I'm saying he can fit in the system, and he's a good thrower. He can run the ball too. So I feel like Jerry Jones could pick up the phone, call the Colts, and figure out how to get the Jacoby Brissett in here in Dallas.
Yeah. So let me add Easy in.
Oh, hey, what's up, man?
What's going on? How'd that MMA conversation go?
It went well, man. I feel like it was civil. You know what I'm saying? For a bunch of guys talking about fighting, it went civil.
Man, you got to put me on that next time.
Hey, you got to get me on that next time. You and Courtney need to get together. He's MMA.
Okay, Courtney, you mess with MMA?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. MMA, boxing, all that.
Oh yeah, for sure, then, man. Because we had Joe Kamara, where he is.
Okay.
He actually joined us for the MMA GOAT debate.
Oh,
so
no doubt.
Pretty dope because we got a UFC fighter perspective. Because I always bring up because everyone wants to say John Jones, right? But like steroids, bro. You always got to question that.
Yeah.
But he said he didn't care. I'll clip it up to you guys. I'm on football. I apologize, guys.
You good? You jump
we'll have to connect. Definitely.
Hey, the door is always open, so whenever you jump on, it's all good. Who should I put in at running back? Damian Harris, Hasty, Joshua Kelly.
Damon.
What's Hasty's numbers look like? I like Josh. I don't know him, guy. Real.
Well, I mean, I like
go fishing, huh?
I like Joshua Kelly, but the problem is you got the other guy that's there too, and they're splitting time. So
exactly, Justin
Jackson. So you don't have like a sure bet. Hasty is another situation where he's going to be splitting time. It's a running back by committee situation. So I would say Harris.
I'm actually going to go Hasty on this one, and I get it. There's going to be a lot of split carries between this running back system, but they are playing the Seattle Seahawks defense, and that will leave more of an opportunity for big plays down the line in this game, and Hasty could potentially get one of those big plays.
And Damian Harris is numbers overall don't look that great. I know Sony Michel's out, so I don't know. To me, you can never trust a New England running back. So,
thank you.
Yeah, because Cam Newton can run for 100 yards himself and be their running back. That's the thing. Cam's going to try to have a big game after getting benched, throwing 3 interceptions in one half. So it's it's one of those things. I think this week I would go with Hasty.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Damon Harris numbers. He ain't done nothing all season.
Yeah, I guess it's because Sonny Michel is out. That's maybe the reason why people are starting to gravitate towards him. But again, it's a New England running back, so I would say go with Hasty or Kelly. Maybe you make that decision closer to game day because you never know who's going to be the better guy. But I mean, like Jordan said, you gotta weigh out which defense they're going to be running up against.
Yeah. We should look at that, huh? Oh, we got another one.
Yeah. Deontay. Okay, I traded Deontay Johnson, Justin Jackson, Greg Ward for Myles Gaskin, Christian Kirk.
No.
Good trade.
Deontay Johnson just went off. In Pittsburgh, not last week.
Did you do it? Did you do it before last week?
He was hurt.
Billy. I think it's a good trade because Justin Jackson, again, like we just said, is running back by committee. Greg Ward, I'm sure, Courtney, you can touch on that. He's not the number one guy. And Gaskin is the number one, and Kirk seems to be getting some work.
He's getting some work.
Yeah, Greg Ward is Eagles got that wide receiver by committee right now. But once they get their guys back and healthy, Greg Ward falls down the pecking order. So there's right now, he's 1 or 2 on the depth chart right now. So Myles Gaskin, he's the running back for Miami. Right now, he's going to have to be the guy because he said Tua's going to have someone to hand the ball off to, and he got that strong running game. So. That trade's an interesting one. Gaskin's probably the better player. Like I said, Deontay Johnson, he went off last week. So everybody's inconsistent in this group.
And then Kirk has had over 10 points, over the past 3 weeks. So I think, you got somebody trending in the right direction. So
yeah, the one thing I would say about Kirk, I picked him up recently too, but he's one of those guys like a low reception. He's really dependent on big plays. Like I think last week he had like maybe 20-something points when he had 2 catches, Yeah. It wasn't 20 points. No way. I'm about to check actually. Sorry.
He did. He had 18.2 last week.
Yeah.
So
and then the week before that, I'm sorry. Well, that was against Dallas though. Yeah, 2 receptions, 21 points.
2 big plays.
Crazy. Thanks to that Cowboys D again. Thanks.
Yeah. Shouts out. Hey, you see that I put on my story? It said Jerry Jones said if you want a Dallas Cowboys jersey, head on down to the stadium. Tryouts.
Oh yeah. Hey, that's been going around so much, like since Tuesday. Since Monday night it's been going around. So yeah, I've seen it. Thanks. I love to see Hilton go elsewhere. Part of me wants him to retire a Colt. Part of me wants to see him succeed. He needs to get traded because obviously it's not working out. Like it's too talented to be there and not doing anything.
Yeah. Do you think my Lions have a shot against them this Sunday?
I think so. Like you told me, you playing the Colts.
They don't know how to. It's like telling the kid he's adopted.
I think the Lions could potentially win because I'd bet on Phillip Rivers to throw at least 1 or 2 interceptions.
Look on the arm of Stafford, you got a shot regardless. And DeAndre Swift is living up to the hype. So you guys definitely got a shot. And you're building off of that win for Atlanta, which. If one more Atlanta fan tells me that it was Gurley's fault, play defense.
Yes.
What a defense for? Play D.
Yes.
It's not that hard. I mean, you had the easiest job in the world. Just don't let him score a touchdown. But the Falcons' defense and the lead blows up. What can I say?
I will say though that was a hell of a catch Gallagher had down there to get him in the red zone.
Yeah.
That boy was nice.
So I don't know about y'all, but when Gurley fell, it almost looked like he got shot in the leg. The way he just fell, it was like it's like he didn't want to fall, but he fell. And I'm like, is he hurt? It was like, oh no, he wasn't supposed to score. Which the story is that Matt Ryan told him, "Don't go into the end zone."
And he stumbled in the end zone.
Play D.
Couldn't help but trust the man.
But it's good. I mean, it helped with fantasy. He scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
Score all you want, man. Score all you want.
I was like, some people are happy.
Yeah, and it looks like when he did fall, and I was like, oh, Gurley hurt again. Here we go.
Yeah, and he was just laying there for a minute.
Bang, whole lot of choppers in the ass, man. Drop.
Yeah.
It was like Boys in the Hood. When Ricky got shot running down the alley. Kaiser on Twitch says, I think if Rivers sucks more this year, he gets dropped, we get a new QB, and Eason starts in 2 to 3 years. I forgot Jacob Eason was still in the league. He's with the Colts?
Yeah, I think so. I think he is.
He must be a diehard Colts
Good
fan.
luck. He is.
Yeah.
Shout out to that.
Take Colts family.
Yeah, that's Kimchi. Thank you for tuning in off the bed. I know.
Yeah, he had some great questions today.
He did, man.
Yeah,
Shout out to you.
Kimchi. Thank you for stopping by.
And he's a Cowboys fan.
Let's go.
Star up. Let's get a win. Let's get one more win this year.
Well,
not against my Eagles. Not this week.
Kimchi, 1 for 2.
Crazy that the Cowboys might mess around and end up with my man from Clemson.
Yeah.
Terry Lawrence.
Right now.
Let's go, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Like I'm currently right now sending an email to Goodell to please flex that
First
game.
of all, no, let me bring up this. In order for us to start winning again, Jerry Jones needs to step down as GM and focus on being an owner, and he needs to hire a GM. Not he cannot be the GM and owner. He needs to be the owner. That's it.
The fact is, the only time that this is going to change is when Jerry Jones dies. And I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm just saying.
Damn.
He wants to be in everything. The dude was just on radio this week. Somebody said, "Is there a leadership problem?" And his response was, a leadership problem. No, his first response was a leadership problem where? On the offensive line, quarterback, like where?
Yeah.
On the whole team, like
right.
And then he said, "Shut up" afterwards.
Then he was like, "Shut up, let me answer the question." Hey, Jerry does not. When it comes to Dallas radio, Jerry does say whatever comes to his mind, and then he'll tell a story where he's like going around the block, and then he'll go backwards, and then he'll be like, "What? What did you just say?"
That's the you should get, bro. Jerry Jones. My bad.
Huh? What? On the show.
Maybe Jerry Jones.
Hey, he'll call you on his flip phone, on his Razor from back in the day.
On that yacht he's got.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to you, Overton Claiborne. Thank you for tuning in, man. You do a great job too. Make sure to follow him on Facebook. Talking with OC is his podcast. Did you see the stat correction that costed the guy $1 million? I did not see that.
Yeah, I read that there. That's crazy.
It seems like it happens once a year in fantasy football. It seems like it happens all the time. Like it's like they did do a stat. I think DraftKings had something like this last year when a guy lost $1 million because of a stat correction. I was like, oh, I would be so mad, and they didn't pay him nothing. I'll be
That's fighting words.
Yeah,
that makes you want to ride up to wherever that spot is and go knock on the door. Claudio,
I don't know what you do in that situation.
Yeah. Claudio been coming through with good questions tonight as well. After Adams, Hopkins, Ridley, Hill, Julio, MT, who are the next tier of wide receivers in full PPR? Who's MT?
Michael
Thomas.
Michael Thomas. He's injured though.
He's really done nothing here.
That's a good question there. Adams, Hopkins, Ridley, Hill, Julio.
I'd probably say
Lockett. I'm surprised Lockett's not on this list.
Metcalf was hot for a minute.
Metcalf, yep. Galladay.
I would say Javarius Landry.
Thank you. I don't want to be the Lions guy to say Galladay first. That's like the first thing that came to mind, but I want to be that guy.
I'll say Landry is another one. Landry. Javarius Landry.
Keenan Allen, that is one.
Landry?
Yeah.
I say Keenan Allen for sure. Has Landry?
Yeah.
I don't think Landry been. Maybe. Let's see.
AJ Brown. Don't forget about
AJ
him.
Brown.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown, yeah, that's a good one. That was a really good mention, actually.
Numbers, yeah, been put up big numbers. Right there. I think that would be top 10, top 12.
Yeah, I think that pretty much. Let me see if there's anybody else I can think of. Yeah, I mean that pretty much sums it up right there. I would say
I can give it by points right now, real quick, if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here, let's see. I'll go.
Stealing will be.
It goes. Wow, Calvin Ridley, number 1 with 120 points.
Yeah.
Then it's Tyler Lockett, 118, number 2. Anyone want to guess number 3? Make it fun. Or you want me to read it?
Hopkins?
Yep, Hopkins.
Oh.
And then I'm actually surprised, but I forgot he had that 2-touchdown game. Adam Thielen.
Yeah, Thielen, yeah.
It's 4th. Yeah, and 5, Stephon Diggs. 6, Tyreek Hill. 7, Cooper. Number 8, Will Fuller. Number 9, Robbie Anderson. And 10, Metcalf.
I think Lockett got it all in last game.
He's had 2 games this year where I think he probably had the same amount of points, and then all the other weeks it's like 5 or 6 points. I mean, he has a down week, and I've got him in my Yahoo league. But yeah, he's money at least a couple times. A couple.
How do you guys feel about Justin Jefferson?
We talked about him.
I don't trust him. I really don't trust him, especially with the way that Kirk Cousins has been playing recently.
Yeah, I still like
on the list. He's ahead of Devontae Adams.
Oh wow!
I'm surprised by it, but Devontae Adams was hurt a long time too.
And that's kind of tied up in probably like 2 games. I think that he's put up big numbers.
Right, and I still like Thielen over there, just a more short-handed receiver, trusted receiver, and he gets more. I think he gets the more targets still too. So
Jerry Jones is like Al Davis. Yes, exactly. They're like clones. Both of them are Skeletors.
He doesn't look like Skeletor, bro. I've always thought that as a little kid.
Appreciate you, Kaiser, on Twitch. She said, I'm about to head out. I'm sure to pop if you have any fantasy questions for. Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, good questions.
Inceptus 1. I'm giving up Freeman and Parker too little for Miles Sanders.
Sanders is still injured.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Still out for 2 to 3 weeks. So I mean, got to keep looking to see when he's going to get healthy. Hopefully, the Eagles can get healthy soon. But Miles Sanders is out.
Now, I guess my question is: did you make this trade, or are you planning to make this trade? Because I would say don't make this trade because Boston Scott's 2 words we've been saying it all night. Boston Scott is about to blow up tonight. It's about to blow up on Sunday night. So
Travis Fulgham too.
Yeah.
Fulgham on Richard Rodgers. Yep. Carson Wentz.
Have you guys spoke on what's the guy in Miami? I'm too embarrassed to say his name.
Gaskins, Tua.
Oh, Tua.
Yeah. What you guys are saying on him?
Yeah, we spoke on Tua. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let's answer this. He says he's planning to. I would say don't do it. Don't do it. At least wait until Sanders is back because whoever you're trading is going to be better off than you. So I would say don't do that yet. But yeah, we did touch on Tua. I just hope Tua doesn't get hurt and he's playing Darnold. Yeah. Darnold, good Lord, man. Darnold, if you've seen his workout regimen, like this dude is ripped. He's probably weightlifting right now as we speak. He's eating a protein bar while he's bench pressing right now.
Yeah, that dude is kind of weird. He looked chubby. I thought he was chubby, and then one time I seen him without shirt, he actually has like a 6-pack and a whole. He's like a whole just a piece of muscle, bro. It's crazy. Like
he's like if y'all remember Big Papa Pump from WCW.
Yep,
that's
his Steiner brothers.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly.
Yep, kissing his biceps. Yeah.
Let's see, Claudio. How would you guys rank these guys PPR rest of the season? Oh, nice.
Let me look at Jacob's numbers real quick.
It's some of these guys are injured now. So Mixon and Sanders is out.
Yeah, personally, just looking at it, I like Connor.
Yeah, James Conner.
Yeah, Connor.
Yeah, first take.
Yeah.
Connor all day.
Connor Jacobs.
I would say Connor. I would say Connor 1 because Connor is definitely that the goal line back, period for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Then I would go
numbers.
Mixon.
You take Connor or Mixon?
I would. I like Connor. I like Connor more.
James Conner. Yep.
He's got more weapons to get him down there in the red zone to run it in. Shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that team's got so many weapons, and at the goal line, you're going to want to run or end the game.
Mixon is dependent on Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is the rookie. Connor is dependent on Big Ben. Big Ben is a vet. So I would have to go. Hurt. Is Jacobs hurt?
No, he hasn't had pretty games. I mean, I actually don't know if he's hurt, but he had 4 points his last game.
I'll go with the James Conner's the choice.
Yeah, James Conner number 1. I probably say I like Miles. I'm looking at Miles Sanders. His ain't bad, bro. He only had 1 game. He wasn't in double digits.
Yep. And then he's always a threat to run 70, 80-yard runs too. I think he's had a couple of them this year.
He's not playing against us, right? Is he?
No, he's hurt. No,
he's nervous. Oh shit.
Yeah, he's nervous.
but 2 words: Boston Scott.
Boston Scott.
Boston Scott is going to have a wonderful day.
Play that man. Play Boston Scott.
It's going to be 5 to 8 yards before he even gets breathed on. That's how bad it's going to be. I hate to say it, but it's true. So I guess to kind of sum this up, I would say Connor, Mixon, Jacobs, Sanders, and Taylor for the remainder of the season. I think that's how I would round that out that way.
Yep.
I probably go Connor.
I'm going.
What's Mixon's injury?
Hold on, let me see. Maybe an ankle.
I probably go Connor, Sanders, Mixon, Jacobs, Taylor. It's a lot of names you threw at us. What are you trying to do to us this late at night, Claudio?
He's got a foot injury. Foot injuries are your feet are actually very important. So if
they kind of nag throughout the season.
Yeah, it's one of those gonna be those nagging type injuries.
Gio Bernard, I've been saying it. That's the guy. He still gets burned each time. So, but yeah, Mixon foot injury. He might be out this week too. So,
all right, let's go to this. This may be the last question, if we get another one.
Playing. Except for this, we're playing. Except for this, fucking that nonsense, man. I'll be so upset, man.
Did y'all hear trade rumors? Galladay going to the Giants. What do you think about this? First of all, why is the Giants trying to trade for people?
Yeah, the Giants. The Giants should be sellers here at this point.
Yeah, the Giants ain't buyers. They're freaking 1-6. Although I will say this, I guess anything is possible in that pathetic division that they play in.
NFC Leafs, baby.
They could have won 2 games. They could have beat us. They could have beat Dallas.
Literally, if you literally take Speakeasy's Detroit Lions and move them into the NFC Least division, they would be the division leaders. And here's the thing. If I have to put Detroit Lions and division leaders in the same sentence, your division stinks.
You know what, man? I had it with you. No.
Shots fired. All right,
you know I do this out of love, my guy.
Oh yeah,
I know, man. It's all right. I love
come up at man. Thank you everybody for coming on. It is late night on my East Coast people. Man, it's 12:15.
Yeah.
So man, y'all
happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Jordan's still on Wednesday, by the way, right? So
yep. Yeah, I'm still on Wednesday too. But we'll be back. We'll be back next week. I don't know what date, but it'll be probably the collective of this group or some of us. We'll be doing
I might do
draft.
some on Saturday too.
Okay,
You wanna
yeah.
join?
All right.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
got.
I'll come
we got
on Saturday. We'll do a spooky rendition of fantasy football.
There you go.
Oh, we wear costumes. That'd be lit.
Yeah.
Oh,
We don't have to, but if you already got a mind, bring them. Why not?
yeah, why
well.
not?
I'm
Might as well.
gonna be Jake from State Farm. So I already have my costume.
Got his khakis.
Probably work at State Farm, cheater.
The red shirt. All you need to do is work at Target. And you'll be good. The red shirt and khakis.
Facts.
Yo, easy. Did Jamal Hill confirm with you?
Yes, he did, man.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't send him a date, but we'll get something down for sure. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming through, man.
Definitely.
Thank you for coming through. Nathan.
Thanks for having us, man.
Definitely. Nathan, thank you for coming on tonight too. Your first time.
This has been awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got Market. He got Coach Hugh Jackson coming on next week. So that's a great thing.
Yeah, man. Congrats, man. I'm
Yeah,
glad I get to say this to you, like not in person, but whatever this is. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah.
So,
Jordan, thank you for coming on. What you got coming up this week or next week?
Yeah, so we've been talking about Nathan's great interviews that he's had. Well, he gets to play the role of interviewee on Keeping It 100. We're going to have him on next Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it. Ben, you've played interviewee on my show a couple of times. I've appreciated you. It's so easy. Courtney, now we got to get a date set so that you can come on to Keeping It 100 too.
Anytime, man. Yeah, I'll be ready.
Beautiful. We'll set something up. I already got my schedule coordinator right now working on it.
All right.
hell yeah, man.
All right.
Hey, you better grill Nathan on them Cowboys.
What?
I say you better grill you on them Cowboys before you get my Lions.
Yeah. So no, I'm working on a couple other big things for my podcast. Actually, I've been in contact with Jeff Garcia for potential interviews. So let's
Nice.
Hey, that's dope.
Hey, look, Jeff has been talking reckless though lately. I got a problem with
What he
Jeff.
say?
He was talking about Cam. Well, if you were focused on not wearing weird hats and stuff, maybe you would be a better quarterback. Get out of here, man.
Talk about his man fashion.
Get out of here, bro. But Courtney, what you got coming up?
Man, I've been on this hiatus, man, enjoying a little
Courtney,
break.
we need you back, man. We need
I
you.
know. I'm coming. I'm gonna be grinding it out after next week. I'll be back with a couple big shows coming up, so be on the lookout for that. Probably gotta do like 3-4 shows next week just to get back in the game. And so yes, I'll be after the election. I'm waiting for after the election, so I'll be ready.
Okay. All right. Easy dropped the show today, so make sure you go and watch that video talking about MMA GOAT. But what you got coming up? You got anything else coming up this week?
Your boy Nathan actually helped me hook up with Jamal Hill, who's a UFC fighter from Michigan. He is a big fight against OSP coming up. I wanted to say though, I wanted to note that once Courtney got that W in fantasy, got him some money in DraftKings. He came back on the show. He must have been feeling good this week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
This week off, right?
Really good.
We was talking mad trash.
Yes,
Let me get on this show. Talk my stuff.
You got to get some of that money.
yes. Ready,
But
ready to take more
other
money.
than that, Patrick Peterson and Bryant McFadden. They had a podcast. I'm gonna have Bryant McFadden on soon. We haven't scheduled an exact date. But I'm happy to talk football again.
Peterson too?
No, that's not. It's nothing with Peterson's confirmed, but Bryant McFadden's for sure coming on.
Oh wow. Okay.
Nice.
Shout out to you for getting Matt Hatchett too. By the way, I saw that, bro. That was dope.
Thank you. I'm working on getting To now. That's his co-host for his podcast. So.
Yep, I'm trying to work the same way you're working on.
Man, y'all doing a great job, man. Always great to have you guys on. Talking fantasy, talking sports. We'll be back next week. It'll be on Easy or it'll be on Minds, one or the other. We keep this thing going no matter what. So y'all have a good night.
All right.
Have a good night.
Peace.